good evening, and welcome back to the Late Shift, Hall of Fame College Football. I'm your host, Jason Watkins, and if you love college football, you know you're in the right place. So before you forget, smash that red subscriber button, like our videos, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss one moment of Hall of Fame College Football. Welcome to the show, everybody. What a freaking fantastic day of college football. Man, action packed from start to finish, pretty awesome. And just really enjoyed kind of watching it. Okay, sending it to you, bud. Um, real quick, let me do this. All right. I'm going to shoot a link to Stat Guy real quick. Reach in. We'll break down a little bit of that with him, and then we'll go from there. Might be able to get a couple of guys in here real quick as well. So I'm going to send one to Coach Roybal too, so he can gloat a bit himself. What up, Dwayne Johns? Goated. Sooners to win. What up, ST Dub? Damn it, Auburn. Do they ever? Hey, listen. Would you expect anything different? Would you expect anything different? Pretty wild stuff, wasn't it? Let me get started here real quick. Welcome into the show, the Stat Guy. What's up, my guy? How you doing?
Boy, rough day at the office.
Rough day at the office. I understand. Yeah, listen, man. It's we had to go through this one last year against you guys, so I understand what you're feeling right now.
You asked the question last night, who had more pressure to win the game? After how the game was played out this week, after post game interviews and everything, I will say that if Mike Shula is not fired tomorrow, Beamer has to go. And I've been the biggest supporter of Beamer since we hired him. But if Mike Shula isn't fired tomorrow, Beamer has to be fired at the end of the year.
Wow, it's like that, huh?
Like that, you don't get first and goal inside the 10 and run the ball 3 times straight up the middle against the best four in the country. You just don't. Yeah. So while I felt y'all had some deficiencies on offense, y'all have the best front four in the country, hands down. And so we did not. I said we wouldn't shy away from the run, and I felt we didn't. But you can't run right into the meat of that defense and expect anything other than to go backwards. I was also very impressed with y'all's opening drive, where y'all came out and established the run. What I want to say, like 54 yards on the ground on that opening drive. That was you needed that. I felt that some games this year, it seems like y'all shied away from it. Y'all did not shy away from the run today, and
you saw some different moves. I mean, you saw some combo blocking, which we haven't seen a lot of. You saw them doing some things where it wasn't like banging your head into the wall to do it. They've actually been very even throughout. I think there was one play difference between pass and run on the season. Now, some of that was run plays for the quarterback that were scramble plays, but overall, success was what was really hard to come by. And so I think that while I get what you're saying, and you needed to do it, but I felt like, Torrey Blaylock has gotten better and better each week, right? And so it's been, to me, I've been waiting to kind of see him have another good day against a real SEC opponent. He had 100 yards against Temple, but nobody cares. You know what I mean?
Right, but even last week, I think he got 10 carries or something like that. But to feed him the ball 19 times, you need that from whoever is your number one option. Even the other guy, is his name Robinson, I think. I mean, he had he had like 10 carries. So it's like y'all did a good job of using your weapons as weapons back there and not relying on Mateer and his legs. And I'll be honest, I kind of expected a little bit more out of him in the pass game, just knowing the kind of defense we play. We play 10 yards off the line of scrimmage. I thought that y'all would have some more quick hitters, but Satania ate us alive when y'all needed him to. I know he had a couple drops, but he ate us alive when you needed him to.
He's been our best receiver, really, and I think Giovanni Gibson's starting to come into his own in that area as well. But I think that it's no doubt right now who's the best receiver in Oklahoma's receiving room, and it's been Sigtagnan by quite a bit, really, since he got fully healthy. He's been coming into it. He just seems like the best player on the field whenever he's got the ball in his hand. So I don't, I it feels like, yeah. I mean, I was going to ask you about what you were saying about Beamer, and how is it that it just felt like there wasn't anything that they could get going as far as is because Lenore Sellers is such a dynamic athlete, and it just doesn't seem like they're using him in a way that like promotes his physical abilities.
Well, you have Mike Shula's OC, and I truly believe he's trying to show Lenoris as a pocket passer to help his draft grade, which you don't need to do. You're
Yeah.
the NFL drafts off potential anyway, and he's 6'4", 245, and is going to run a 4.4 at the combine.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to
Physically
do nothing
speaking,
but
he's as close to Cam Newton as you get.
right.
Physically
So
speaking, right?
win football games, and he's going to get drafted in the top 5. Like, as bad as he's played this year, he's still probably going to get drafted in the top 5. And
He
so,
could, yeah. He could.
now, so part of the problem is our offensive line is really bad. We have a really good receiving core, but it's a bunch of speed guys that you need to hit deep post, and we only got 1 to 2 guys that can run some routes that you feel comfortable underneath. And so because of that, you're not having any chance to take the lid off because our offensive line can't hold up. And so the one shot we did take today, the offensive line didn't hold up. Lenoris gets hit. The ball's 5 yards underthrown. If he's able to step into the throw, it's a walk-in touchdown. I mean, the DB was completely toasted up the sideline. So, but the ball was underthrown. I think it ended up being a pass interference. But so the problem is, so I can forgive some of that. But when some of your play calling just doesn't make sense within the structure of the game, that's when I have a problem. I told you last night I thought it was a race to 10. So on that opening drive, I didn't want to go for it on 4th down from the 5. Take the 3 points. And so now, yeah, it turned out we probably would have needed that touchdown, and 3 points doesn't help us there, but quit chasing points in the first quarter when you think it's going to be a low scoring game. Don't run the ball 3 straight times with your speed back right into the teeth of the defense. Take Lenoris, get him outside the pocket. If he can run it in, cool. Maybe you have somebody coming across the formation on the backside that you can hit. But the play calling from a concept point, we're not doing anything to take advantage of some of the weapons we have.
Sorry about that. I was muted. In saying what you said a second ago about if he doesn't get rid of Mike Shula over the weekend, he needs to be fired. Is the administration there and the athletic department ready to do it?
So I think with us having a new AD, you have a new AD and you have a couple programs within the athletic department that probably need to make changes. And I think he's going to. I think he's going to, because I think that it's going to get to the point where what we're seeing in college football these days, if you're making progress, you can have 4 to 5 years if you're taking steps forward every year. But once you take a step forward, you lay claim to that. And if you take a major step back, you have to move on and try the next guy, because everybody's racing for the playoffs. Everybody has playoff dreams. Now, I tell Shardy all the time, everybody can't be Georgia. And I don't ever expect South Carolina in my lifetime to be Georgia. I'm realistic in that regard. Even though I talk a lot of shit, I know deep
Yeah, but
down I'll probably never see a national championship. But my goal for South Carolina is even within the SEC, we have the talent to win 8 or 9 games every year if we have the right guy at the helm.
Well, if you think about what Georgia was up until Kirby took the job and set it up the way he did, they were
They
that
were they were
they
a
were
nine
that
ten win team.
yeah, they were,
So
but I'm saying, but that doesn't mean that you can't in this era of football, in the NIL era, transfer portal. Look, I know everybody thinks that they're going to be able to cut back on all that shit. They're not. They're never going to be able to, because not without collective bargaining, and collective bargaining is going to bring on its own stuff. So just this is an era of football that you can capitalize on it, and that's why with the amount of money that you make as an SEC program, I would agree with you that I'm not saying that you have to be completely knee jerk reaction like say Auburn. You know what I mean? Where they're going to be paying for 3 coaches here in a few days, probably. You know what I mean? That aren't coaching anymore and looking for another one. So I don't think you need to go that far, but I do think that you have to realize in this era of it that if you're not getting it done, you better go get it done, because if not, somebody's going to be in there. There's too much money going around.
right,
You know?
which is to my point that our offense has been absolutely. I mean, we outside of Kentucky, we have the worst offense in the SEC, and so because of that, either you make the move or you put your own life at risk. And so in the post game today, his comment was one of the, and I applaud the reporter for asking the tough question because, a lot of times the media won't do that. The
No, they're
reporter
scared of it. Yeah.
yeah, the reporter asked him, so what's the next change? And he said, and I quote, I made a change last week. Is that not good enough for you?
No,
No,
it
it's
didn't get
not.
better. What did it do?
It,
What did it? In fact, you got worse this week.
right. Well,
Well,
now
maybe
the
you
change
did. Maybe you didn't.
the change he made, worked. We didn't have 9 false starts today, but we also got away with 2 or 3. You know what I'm saying? 74 got caught leaning a couple times. They just didn't call it, and so it's like that. I will say I saw a comment in here earlier, and it was a play I was furious about. Was the pick by Taylor Wynn on the fake punt? That you could smell that fake punt coming from a mile away. If
You
you
could.
want to go for it,
I
keep
mean,
Lenore's on the field.
they
Go
said
for
it
it.
on the broadcast. If they saying it on the broadcast that this is feels like a time that you would do that if you're
Right,
game. Everybody knew.
and it's
Everybody knew.
right. That's what you want to fake a punt. Fake a punt on the first punt of the game when you're punting from your own 30, and it was like 4th and 6. Brent Venables isn't expecting that one. You don't fake the punt on fourth
I
and
was just to
two.
say, Brent's played him enough as at Clemson. He's played against him enough to know when that's coming. You know what I mean?
Right, because Brent was at Clemson when he was at South Carolina.
That's right.
And so as the assistant, and so it's like he understands like, oh, this is when Beamer's going to dial it up. You don't dial it. The things that make those fakes meaningful and how you catch people sleeping, you do it when
Once at a
nobody's
time.
expecting.
Exactly. It
Um,
has to be on your side of the field and not at midfield and you know. Yeah, I get it.
so I'll also say, and I don't know if I mentioned this last night. I mentioned it on my show on Thursday, but if we won the toss, our opening drive, which was our best drive of the game, even though we didn't get points out of it, is usually our best drive of the game. And so I wanted the ball, try to go and get a, and then see if we can kind of take some of the sell out of Oklahoma before they touch the football. Um,
Yeah.
when we decided to defer to the second half, in my mind, I was like, this is a perfect time. Start the game with an onside kick
Yeah.
and still a possession. And we didn't. Of course, y'all drive down the field with ease and get the touchdown, running down our throat, getting 7-8 yards a lick. The run on 1st and 20 or 2nd and 20, whatever it was, the 18-yard run, that first big hitter. Once he broke that off, I was like, we're in trouble. I was like, this might not go the way I want it to go today.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I think did you think that I got one more question for you, and then you can go. But I was going to say, did you think that Oklahoma's defensive front was this good?
Yeah.
coming
So
in?
now coming into the year, Coach I was really high on them. Coming into the year, I had some questions about the depth, but I felt that the starters could go against anybody. I just wondered about the depth. But at this point in the season, I truly believe y'all have the best front four, two deep, three deep, however you want to stack it up. Y'all have the best front four in the country, and y'all probably have a top five, top three, if not the best front seven in the country. But
Yeah.
and that was a concern to me, and why I felt the game had to be a race to 10 because I didn't see a path to us. First of all, we don't score points anyway unless our defense or special teams gets involved. And
Yep.
so because of that, I didn't see a path to victory for us unless it's a 10-7, 10-6 type game. And so because of how dominant y'all's front is and how bad our O-line is, I knew we weren't going to be able to take advantage of some of the issues with y'all's secondary. So it was styles make fights, and we look at the game last year. So last year, y'all's offense was absolutely abysmal when we played. Y'all hadn't
Yep.
figured things out. You had just made a quarterback change, and we had a defense that got sacks on everybody and turned everybody in the nation over. And so it just always felt that it was South Carolina. This year, y'all are getting the pressure. That Brent Venables, you can tell, has his fingers all over this defense. Our offense is abysmal, and so once y'all were able to score that second touchdown, you kind of saw, okay, well, can South Carolina at least make it competitive? And we didn't. We laid down and just took it like the good girls we were today. So
Well, I wasn't gonna go there, bro. I wasn't gonna go
hey,
there, but I appreciate you calling in and talking about. I listen. I thought it was so important for Oklahoma in so many ways because, and like I told you last night, I wasn't shitting on South Carolina saying this, but this if you're not going to win this game and really go out there, we were talking about this a little earlier, win this game kind of handily. You got to be concerned about the rest of the slate, and not that I'm not any less concerned about the rest of the slate, but you can't even feel good about them winning games against the rest of the slate because it's legit the whole way through. You've got Ole Miss coming in next week. They're obviously going to be pissed off, over what just happened with Georgia. I don't know that they're going to be able to. You have to expect they're going to put some points up, but that Oklahoma's defense is better than Georgia's is. So to me, you
y'all are
got a chance
y'all
there.
gonna get pressure. Right. It's can y'all will y'all's defense be able to hold Ole Miss enough to allow y'all to score enough to win? Oh, and that's what I don't know if I said it to you last night. I'm pretty sure I did though, but that was my thought with you was that if you couldn't win the South Carolina game, where does another win come from?
Right.
And the fact you didn't beat us, but you beat us how you should have beat us, shows okay, well, Mizzou is winnable. Ole Miss is winnable. There's now you can now see a path where you can win some of the now they're difficult games. They're not
No
free
doubt about it.
wins.
No, they're not.
You
No,
gonna
they're not. Nobody's
you
saying
gonna
that for sure. But
yeah
I don't
yeah no
know how
I'm
you could have had any good feelings about it if you don't win this game. Is where I was getting at.
right yeah and that's kind of where I'm at is like if you lose this game now you're looking at how do we beat any of those teams? They might just all be losses. Whereas now you see a path and a game plan of how to play the games to come away with some victories in some of these games.
Yeah, no
But
doubt.
Jason, I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the game today. Like I
It
said,
was fun.
it went how I thought it was. It wasn't good football. Both teams have a lot to work on Sunday when they get in the film room.
They fight, man.
Oklahoma,
I'll say this about South Carolina, man. They fight. They'll fight the way. They'll fight all the way through it. They're going to talk shit. They're going to come at you. They didn't lay down by any stretch of the imagination. That's one good thing I can say. I haven't been big on Beamer in a while, but I got to say them every time I see they continue to put up fights, even times that maybe they don't have a great scheme or whatever's going on. They're not doing things well, but the kids don't quit, and so that's something to be said about them.
now,
Definitely.
the one thing I don't even know if it changes the score. Obviously, we never win the football game. I don't know if it changes the score any, maybe a field goal instead of one of the touchdowns. but losing Dylan Stewart on the first drive
Oh
absolutely
yeah,
sucked.
I hated that. I hated seeing that part for sure, bro.
And then he came back. Then he tries to come back in and takes 2 steps, and just you like the offensive lineman just looked at him like, "But you had me beat. Why are you on the ground?" Like I was like, "Oh, this isn't good." One last thing before I get out of here. I don't know how much around the country you watched today, but everybody keep Bryant Wesco from
Lots.
Clemson. He Bryant Wesco got upended, landed
Oh,
headfirst. He's in the hospital.
oh no,
So
I didn't see that.
he was
I didn't see that.
yeah, he was returning a punt. The punt bounced short. He runs through the ball, and the defender comes and just like dives at his legs, takes his legs out from under him, um, and he goes feet over head, landing head first, and then his feet hit the ground behind him. But it was nasty. Didn't come back in the game, and then in Dabo's presser, he announced that they rushed him to the hospital during the game.
Golly, golly.
Oh, y'all
Well,
enjoyed the show. I just
prayers up for him
yeah.
for sure. What other game did you really enjoy though? What was your what other games were you watching that you were kind of getting into? There's a lot of good ones today. A lot of good ones.
The Mizzou Auburn game was good. Neither team wanted to win that football game. That's always fun to watch when neither team wants to get a W. That A&M Arkansas game was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. One thing we know about Bobby Petrino, he can put points on the score. He might be into some sketchy stuff, but the dude knows how to put points on a scoreboard.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
So I appreciate you, Jason. Like I said, I wanted to hop on, give y'all some flowers, congratulate y'all on the dub today, and enjoy
Yeah, I
enjoy your
appreciate that,
weekend,
brother.
friend, and enjoy the rest of the football season.
All right, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, well,
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Stat guy in the house. Appreciate him coming in. Who's up first? Make sure you hit that link in the top and let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. All right. Let me. It looks like we got. Is this Kyle Dupuis? Is this Kyle Dupuis? That's what's up. Let's see. What good? What's good, bro? What's good? No. Yeah. I feel you. I feel you, man. Well, welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Um, what were your give me your thoughts on well, we can talk a little bit more about Oklahoma, but I mean, but let's try to get into some other stuff too. I thought that it was an amazing slate of games. Shout out to Kentucky. I mean, I really thought they were about to win that damn thing, and Texas almost they damn sure tried to lose it. But way to go, BYU stepping up and like handling business against Utah. The ugly Ute is what I call those guys, the ugly Utes, because they've been nothing but shit talkers. And then what a game! Obviously, you had the game last night where you had Miami getting beat, but then I enjoyed thoroughly uh, the Ole Miss game. Except Ole Miss screwed me out of my money too. You were just talking about that, bro. I gotta tell you, or no, it was. I think it was my guy. I think it was my guy Derek. Yes, Derek. So I lost I I would have had 1,200 if Ole Miss is like winning by 10 points, and all they had to do was cover 8.5, and I win 1,200 bucks. No, just covering. Well, covering, yeah. So, ugh. No, they were getting like 8.5. Yeah, it pisses me off, bro. What was your favorite thing you saw today, though? About, I mean, tell me what you thought about the Oklahoma game, then we'll get into the rest. Hmm. Yeah, I think that you're going to have to. You obviously are you're definitely preparing for a completely different animal in these two teams between this week and last week or next week. Bishop Frank's in here with us as well. What's up, Bishop?
Hey, what's going on? Just sending a shout out for the dub.
It was a big time win, man. It's a big time
Yeah,
win. I mean, we talked about. I know a lot of people were really bitching about whether or not they did enough on offense and what we're seeing from Interior, and there's stuff to be spoken about. I think there, but what we wanted and what we were saying, and this is what I was saying with Chris Mason and K. Chris, you just needed to go find a way to win and bounce back in a big way. And honestly, with the way that you played last week, you kind of needed to dominate that game to some level, right? And the defense certainly
yeah.
did. The offense, it wasn't as good as it was pre-injury for Mateer, but it looked better. It was headed in the right direction, and the running game was a lot better than we've seen it. Right?
Way better. And not only that is that the trap door is open, and I think our running backs are starting to see when we're saying trap door. They're starting to be a little more patient until the block sets up, and then squirt it on through. So I think they're finding their footing. They just need to go back into the fire lab and keep working. We're not done yet. A lot of meat left on the bone.
To solidify like who's running back one, who's running back two, instead of one drive you get this running back, the next one you get this one, and then third one you get this one. It's
Yes,
more or
sir.
less they have a rotation, a legit SEC rotation now, and that's normally what you see in the SEC is just your 1-2 punch, and then once you start like getting away with it, then you start filing in like your lesser backs. And I felt like that's what we saw a little bit today.
Hmm. Can you
Because
guys all hear Kyle now? I had it messed up. I was hearing you, but I don't think anybody else was. Make sure
uh,
everybody else is hearing you before.
No, we can hear 'em.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Listen, I think you're right, man, and you're going to have to kind of get better and better from week to week. But that's what I was saying at the end of the show. I don't think if you're expecting a finished product this week, next week, the week after that, you're probably going to be let down because, and to be truth be told, the championship teams kind of get better from week to week. It is from week to week. You have to show improvements, right?
I mean, even if you look back at the last championship OU team, the offense really wasn't. I mean, they were getting by, but I think I forgot I watched the podcast sometime like a few weeks ago, and I think it was Gabe and Teddy talking about it, how the offense was scraping by week, and the defense just kept holding up. And I think that's what if we do make a natty run or a playoff run, I think that's what we're gonna have to see the defense bailing out the offense more often than not. Which I mean, they say defense wins championships, so they're gonna have to prove it.
Well, it does. It definitely does. But I also think that you're going to have to see this offense get better from week to week. Also, I think that you know I liked seeing that they were doing some new stuff on like combination blocking and some of that stuff we were seeing for the running game. Um, because I was watching DMAC and Barry earlier today, and they were talking about to do a combo block is to move somebody's ass out of the way. And so knowing that they can do that and like changing it up a little bit, you didn't see a lot of runs that were dependent or which success was dependent upon a tight end that doesn't block very well. You know what I mean? And so these are things that we need to see. I still don't know that I love the rhythm that they're calling these plays at, and I'm not sure that I love where Mateer's at as far as I think he's definitely still going through some injury stuff and or you could call it rust if you want to. But the good news is that rather than trying to be a gunslinger with that rust or with that injury and turning the football over, you did what you had to do and just ate a couple of balls here and there. I don't know that the run game with him right now is super uh, effective until he starts getting a little more wiggle and a little more. a little more confidence about him. It feels like to me, right? John Material
Yeah,
better, so
and I mean, people are saying Mateer isn't playing up, which I don't think he's. I think he's got a lot of way to improve, and I think he's gonna get better. But I mean, I'm looking at stats right now, and offensive passing leaders, he's five right now in the SEC. So I know you only got what 14 teams in the SEC, but I mean that's the top half right there. You got
yeah,
John Mateer at five, Marcel Reed four, Taylor Green three, Todd Simpson two, and Joey Aguilar is one. So I mean that's pretty good for what the critics are saying about Mateer right now.
sure, but I mean, only 150 of that is today. I mean, and I'm guessing those rankings they don't usually add to that right away. So it may be a little different. I still think he's going to be a top half uh, ranked guy as far as that goes. But the good, I mean, you had too many turnovers was part of it, and then 52% last week wasn't good. I'm not going to sit here and just trash on the tier. What I'm saying is that what we're going to
Oh,
need
I get
from
where
him
you
next
coming from.
week
Yeah,
versus what we needed from him now is
yeah,
probably two different things. Now, I do think that you need to continue to take care of the ball really well, very much so. Um, but I also think that you need to be. We've got to have some. We're going to have to start getting some freaking dynamic plays. Some explosive plays. Don't you guys think?
oh yeah, yeah. I think Blaylock's gonna end up
Yeah.
breaking one. I see it. Like I see it. He's gonna end up breaking one. I thought it was gonna be today. Well, he did make some big runs, but I'm talking about like a 50, 60 yarder. Like it's coming. I thought if they would have kept feeding him during the Texas game, I thought he was gonna end up breaking it. But for whatever reason, they ran away from it, and I don't know. That's another conversation. But
And understand the passing game builds off of the running game, but today the main thing is complementary football was established. And that's the whole thing to being able to win with the type of defense we have is just be competitive and complimentary.
Yeah.
Because right now we got the basic building blocks, and we need to just keep going 1-0. Find a way. It doesn't matter how we get there. Just 1-0 is the goal and the
yeah.
mission.
Yeah.
And then
Without a doubt.
another thing, I'm glad my 337 guy finally got his flowers today. I guess he's heating up, man. I'm ready. And it's crazy because in high school I never seen him as a receiver. I'd always see him as a quarterback because I mean he played like pretty much his whole not his whole high school career, but when the team needed him, he played quarterback. That's how he stepped up. So it's
He's
kind
the
of
best
fun to.
player on the team. You're talking Giovanni Gibson now. 337
Oh
Giovanni.
yeah, oh yeah. I've been waiting for this all off season. Once I seen he was on the OU team.
I've been excited about it too. And he definitely, man, he's a player and you can see it coming together for him. And I think that this is the perfect time to get him back. And when at a time that you really need this offense to start getting some spark, because I'll be honest with you, from what I'm seeing from Deion Burks, it's not great. You know,
I
I
don't see. I had to talk to somebody. I don't mean to cut you off, but I meant to
no
talk
go
to
ahead.
somebody about that. I feel like Burks and Mateer are like always on different pages. I don't know what it is, but it seems like they're always thinking different. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. I don't know if it's just me, if I'm seeing like but it's just every time like you need a big play, it just seems like Mateer goes one way and then Burks goes the other way. Like they're always, I don't know. It's just weird. That chemistry is weird to me. Now it felt like Mateer and Giovanni Gibson, like that made I'm might have bias towards that, but I mean it looked like they were like on the money every play.
Yeah, and I think that they had established that during the spring, right? I mean, that was
Yeah.
what all we kept hearing out of the spring practices was that that was his guy, and that they were making some dynamic things happen until he broke his leg. So, and Marcus Dent, he's in here talking right now. He was
Yeah.
talking about him last year from the time that he was at, when he went and watched him play at Alcorn State, for their homecoming, and he was like, "This dude is dynamic, and we need to have him." I think that he gives you also something that, and like Satigna has been that dude, number
Oh
one.
yeah,
And
he's
Yes.
I
definitely up
think
Oh,
we
there,
no
have
bro.
to
doubt.
make sure that we continue to say that,
Man,
because Isaiah Satigna has been unbelievable. But what Giovanni gives you is that go throw up a 50-50 ball.
yep. And I was
You know?
disappointed in that throw today when Mateer overthrew him. I was like, man, even if you underthrow him, I feel like he made that play. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like he has the size to get up there.
He does. He does, and he's gonna. I mean, he'll battle for it. And then I think if you get him in space, unlike what we've seen from Deion Burks a lot this year, it seems like he runs into the first guy that he sees.
hmm He
And
did make
instead of
a
running away
couple
from
people
him.
miss today, though. If you're talking about Burks, he did make.
Yeah.
I noticed he made a few. They I forget who was talking about it. I think Gabe and them were talking about that, how on the Texas game, I think they were talking about all the receivers that, but they kind of highlighted Burks about how right when he catches the ball, first guy that hits him, he's down. And so I felt like he kind of improved on that today. I noticed like a few of his passes, he would make the first guy miss.
I think if we really take a deep dive on it, I think this week they took it personal that they didn't keep the standard last week, and this week we're starting to see ambers of what they've been doing at practice, and it's still a lot of meat left on the bone. But I tell you what, it's a start, and to go on the road anywhere in the SEC, you better bring your A game. So
Well, and like we said, what I was just saying with Stacker, I was like, the main goal was to win this game, because if you can't go in there and look, I feel like the more you look at it, was it dominant? Defensively, yes, it was.
Oh
It
yeah,
was
I
dominant,
don't think
right?
without the refs
Offensively,
helping
did
them, I
you
don't think they
look as
score a point.
right? Well, yeah, the refs help, and again, I said that on the show. Man, you're gonna have to get just ready. The SEC has trash
Yeah.
ass refereeing.
Oh
The
yeah.
officiating is just not good. So you just might as well expect it. They suck shit. And until they make them full time employees and shit like that, it's going to continue to be this way, you know. But I would say that from week to week, again, the goal becomes different. Now the goal is always to win, and Bishop, you say it all the time: go 1-0 each week. Yeah, that's easy, and that's it's nice and cliche, and it's not wrong. But the point is that each team is going to give you a different look, and obviously, you're going to go up against definitely your biggest threat offensively that you've seen. The best quarterback, probably without a doubt, that you've seen is coming up in Ole Miss. This is
Yeah.
a guy that's won 2 national championships at the lower level. He's a dude, right?
Yeah. I got a question on that too. So with
Okay.
the schedule coming up, who do you think after seeing the games today, which I know it's a week by week basis, but who do you think's the tougher game? Obviously, I think Bama's our toughest game left, but out of Tennessee and Ole Miss, being that I think Ole Miss looked better this
Yeah.
week, but being that Tennessee's at Tennessee and we get Ole Miss home, I think Ole Miss is going to be a little bit easier. I say easier. I don't mean it's going to be easy, but I feel like it's going to be
Well,
more manageable.
there's two things that I look at on that. And number one, I don't. I think that it's pretty clear that Ole Miss doesn't play very good defense. They just
No,
don't. I mean,
but they scored.
they were out there going big. You know what I mean? They had you know multi-score leads multiple times in the game, and every time that they would go down and score, and it looks like they're starting to pull away. I mean, and listen, Gunnar Stockton ain't that. I mean, I like him, and I think that I like his. He's a dog, kind of. He ain't scared of shit. But as far as skills concerned, it ain't the same. He ain't the same, dude. So for you to allow them to score all the time is the way they do. I think you can have a good game against Ole Miss. Now the problem, like you said with Tennessee, number one, you're going to go to Neyland Stadium.
Yeah,
Now you can
that's
shut that
good.
place up if you play well. If you
But
get in
if
there
you
and
don't,
you can. But if you don't, if you
then
let
it's
that,
gonna.
you let them get going. And here's the truth of it. Tennessee's has had the number one offense in America. They have.
Yeah,
So to me, that's part of it. The other part is, I think that, are they about the same? Probably pretty close, right? I don't
yeah,
think they're a whole lot different as far as offense is concerned. The difference would be they still have at least some of that defensive line that was so dominant last year, right? Now where
yeah,
they're bad is in the secondary. I mean, they're buns in the secondary. But that being said, Oklahoma's not the biggest threat offensively or hasn't been. So I think that and I think that Tennessee is probably it it's a road game. Again, a road game in the SEC is hard to win, right? I don't know. That's just
yeah,
my feelings. I would say probably I would lean Tennessee, but make no mistake, they're coming in next week pissed off of losing that game on the road this week. Do they have a hangover or do they bounce back from it? That's the
Mm,
question that you get out of
I
Ole
don't know,
Miss.
man. Lane Kiffin just he doesn't seem to win them big games, bro. I don't know. It depends. I mean, this seems like a big game for both teams, and I mean, he just seems like
Yeah.
he just falls on his face every time. So
Yeah. What
I
I
don't
would
know.
say is, Jason, this is going to be that fire test for our secondary. We're going to find out how good we really are. We've been wanting to find out to go with the front four and our linebackers. Our secondary is going to be tested this upcoming week, and I look forward to that test. But salute. I hope Gentry is all right. I saw the shoulder pop, unfortunately for him. But we got to find a way because they're coming.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's
Well,
about to get rough.
Jacoby got a pick late and obviously was on their backup, but listen, I thought he's had some moments where he's in and nobody knows that he's in. So and with a cornerback, if you're not hearing their name being called, that's a good thing,
That's a good
right?
thing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wait,
Because they're not. That means they're not throwing your way because he's probably doing a pretty good job in coverage.
I
And
mean,
so, go ahead.
the only time you ever heard like any corners like saying like as far as like the broadcast and all that was the Auburn game with Cortland Guillory and Cam Coleman. I mean, other than that, you haven't heard too much about our corners yet. And I
No,
And
mean,
I
you
like you
kind of
think,
said, it's a
listened. You
good
heard the
thing.
guys from the Red Dirt
yeah,
media talking about Cortland strapping up the guy from Michigan, but
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
you're right.
but Michigan, they didn't. I don't know, man. I'll say this about the Michigan game. I'm glad we played them the week 2 instead of like week 10, because I
yeah.
mean that I feel like that would be a lot different game.
They look different today than they did a week ago, didn't they?
Yeah.
They look
And then
different than they
that
did a week ago.
didn't really catch that game too much because I was watching all kind of other games, but I don't think they had Justice Haynes either, so they were kind of forced to see what Bryson Wood had.
I think that that's been a good thing for them. That they've tried to bring him along slowly, and I don't think he's one of those
You
kids
know,
that bringing him along slowly doesn't really help.
you got to turn him loose,
Let
man,
him
Yeah,
go.
because
Let
yeah.
him go.
I
But
feel like
You got to let
and
him go.
that was my thing with the. I mean, not to talk about that game too much, but the OU Michigan game, I'm like, bruh, I keep telling people it would have been a lot different if they'd have just let him run. Like they weren't letting him run.
It's hard to run against this defense.
Oh yeah, it is. But I mean, it feels like even when he had wide open holes, he just wasn't taking it. And I feel like that was a coaching thing. But yeah,
Marcus is saying Burks gets open quickly off the line. We need to capitalize off of that.
facts,
And listen,
facts.
get him the ball quickly. But yeah, I agree. And if that's the case too, if you're not going to make much out of it unless you make a guy miss, maybe that's a good thing. Get him. Listen, with Stack, I was talking about they lining up guys 7-8 yards off the ball. If you're doing that and you're not hitting these guys immediately on the line, then I think you're wasting a lot of yards that you can just dink and dunk the shit out of them, and you
Yep,
can build explosive plays off of that too.
yep,
You know, I would
man.
be. I just I know a lot of offenses that are spread offenses that are predicated on what are you doing. There's going to be a lot of read routes, and if they get up to the line and you're not within 5 yards of them, they're just going to turn the ball's going to get snapped and they're throwing it to the guy that's closest to them open. Period. End of story. that's going to be their run game. You know, I'd love to see more passing the ball to these guys out of the backfield too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know we didn't really need to pass, but it kind of surprised me just now. I just realized Kanik only had one. I think he had one reception, but I think he only had one target too. Which I mean,
I think you may be right. I
I
don't remember
think
if they
I
targeted him
think today
twice.
they
It
were.
felt
It
like he
was
may have
pretty
dropped one.
obvious they were focused on like getting a run game going because they were seeming to force that.
Well, I think it was. I think it was. Here's the thing. I don't know that it was any different as far as how much they were running. I think that they changed their modus operandi on how are we going to run because they've been 50-50 all year.
Oh yeah,
That's a fact. I mean, I think what they did was they made some adjustments and did some things like, they were talking about, DMAC was talking about the combo block and then that the screen pass that he was talking about that they've run forever at Oklahoma, but he hadn't seen, and they did some things that you just hadn't seen. And so you saw a lot of 4 and 5 wide, like we've been talking about a bunch, Bishop, to get into 4 and
yeah,
5
yeah,
wide
yep,
and spread those guys and get them out of the
yep,
box. You're getting space out there that allows guys to work in space, and those are good things, right? Because it feels like, especially with young running backs, it's hard for them to be patient enough to see the hole. If they
correct.
see the hole early on because there's a lot of green out in front of them, then they can get to green space and become dynamic. And then, maybe that you'll start seeing how quick it closes up, some of those other things. But to me, I think that may be the biggest part of it
Yeah,
was that they had a lot of guys that were split wide out, and you weren't bunching a bunch of stuff up to where
yeah,
you were bringing guys into the box that didn't have to be there.
right. And I will also say that I believe what Demarco worked with the young backs was understanding how to let the trap door open. And they were doing such a great job of that little hesitation before hitting the hole, so the blocks are set up. Because sometimes when you're young, you're wanting to get through. You see it, but you don't realize it's not fully open yet. And today was the first sign that they start understanding. Okay, this is how it goes, and it's more yards to be gotten, but it's a start, and that's the
yeah,
key. Is we're getting into the gauntlet of the play. You got to keep finding these yards that stay complimentary.
yeah. And I didn't realize X Rob and Blaylock had the same exact average today as far as rushing goes.
That's
I'm
awesome.
Yes,
just
sir.
noticing that.
Yes,
So
sir.
And I hated hearing that. I don't know what's finally. I'm waiting to hear what I hear about it, but it sounds like Taylor Tatum got hurt on his first
yeah,
carry.
he only
His main
had
carry.
one carry, and yeah,
Sounds like he may have been
I didn't
banged up
think he
on it.
got hurt though. I didn't know.
It's going around a little bit. I'm not sure if it's
Oh,
if
okay.
it's real or not.
I mean,
Let's
he
see.
got swallowed up on it, but I didn't know he got hurt.
Right. Let's see.
That was
But
smooth.
yeah, X Rob went for. They were talking about Blaylock's 101 yard game, but then X Rob did pretty good too. He went for 58 for 11. I mean, that ain't bad.
Right. No doubt. Hey, welcome into the show. Corrections 101. What's up, my guy?
Hey, Jason, how you doing?
Good, man. How's it going?
Doing great, man. Hey, I gotta give credit where credit is due. As much smoke as the offensive line has received, they played great today. I'm really happy for that. I'm really happy for that unit. They played well, and then Blaylock, he ran his rear end off, and then X Rob, he ran his ass off too. So just really happy for those guys. We showed big strides, and Mateer's getting back into it looked a lot crisper, getting back in the swing of things, and I really feel good about this weekend with Ole Miss coming to town. It's in Norman. It's going to be crazy. Yeah, it's an 11 a.m. kick, which is ridiculous. It feels like Big
Oh,
12 times. It should be 7
how
p.m.
Yes. How
no?
is
How are
that?
they not flexing that game to later?
That's it. Yeah, that's why. Go ahead.
It's ridiculous. I mean, it
Wow.
feels like we're back in the Big 12 where every game is 11 a.m. kickoffs. It's ridiculous. I mean, this is going to be a primetime game. But hopefully the crowd gets lubed up and they're ready to go. I think they will be. I think everybody knows what's on the line, but
Just get an early start, man. You just got to get an early start. That's all that means.
that's what it's all about. Yeah. Do you know has Game Day announced where they're going to be this next week yet?
It certainly won't be there. If they do that, they'll definitely flex it. But I don't know. It feels like I don't think they did announce it yet. Maybe I could be wrong though. I'm not positive. If
Yeah,
anybody
last
knows
I
the
checked
answer
a
to
couple
that,
hours ago, it didn't. Yeah, they didn't say it yet. But so BYU, man, they look good. Um, I really think I can't wait till they go to Taco Tech there in Lubbock. I think BYU wins that. This whole thing. Well, I think Texas Tech is really good, but this whole we spend so much money on NIL. Well, people don't realize that BYU, you have the honor code, all that stuff. People go to play at BYU because they love BYU. It's not about the NIL. It's not about anything else. And I think that has a lot to do with it. So they have that team camaraderie. And I think that I really think BYU is going to win the Big 12.
yeah. Hey, Smoke, don't be coming in here taking shots at my guy Jimmy, man. Did he take a shot at you? Come on now. Come
Who
on
took a
now.
shot at
He's
who?
just saying what's up. No, it's Smoke. He's just busting chops. But show some love to
Gotcha.
the guys, man.
Mizzou got freaking lucky. Mizzou.
They did.
I can't wait till we play Mizzou. They're
Man,
going to play right into our strength. They're a one-trick pony. It's ridiculous.
every
Give
time
me
one
a
of them
couple.
has to come in clutch, he gets sacked. It's crazy.
Oh, Mizzou's ridiculous. Texas is ridiculous. They should have lost that game. How do you go to Kentucky and you win by 3 in overtime? It's absolutely ridiculous. If we had a healthy material, we win that game. I mean, Texas is the most lucky freaking bastards I've ever known. Seriously,
They got away with
I'm
that.
No
so
doubt.
over Texas.
Yeah, I know. I know.
They got away with that today, bro. They got away with that today for sure.
Big time, and I don't understand that play calling by Stoops in the end. I was rooting for Stoops. He's sledding uphill in that program, but man, I was really disappointed on how they closed that game out. What are the games we're talking about there, Jason?
Well, I mean, there's a bunch of them. So let's see, just going through it. I mean, we
Number
had
two fell. I
number
mean, that
two
wasn't
going down
today, but
Miami last night. That was huge. But then Notre Dame beating USC. I mean, are we going to forget about that one?
Uh,
We're just going to act like that one
US
didn't
man,
happen.
Seriously, USC Tebow, come on. Like, I've never rooted for you ever. I've never rooted for you ever in my freaking life, except for this one game to knock Notre Dame out of this one game because we don't ever have to talk about them for the rest of the season if you just win this one freaking game and you go lay an egg.
Listen, laying an egg is only part of it. Dude, Jeremiah Love had him a Heisman day today.
hmm
I know.
Going out there 230 something yards on
ground and
what
pound.
24 carries. That
Against the
every time.
Tebow defense.
Listen, it is what it is. We
I
keep
know.
hearing about how much better USC has gotten on the defensive side. They can't stop the run still. They
I
still,
know.
I mean, and when
The
it gets
ghost of
down to
Grinch
nut
is still
cutting
with them.
time, they don't get it done. They don't get it done. So to me, I feel like that's a huge win for them. And you look at what Notre Dame did. They lost 2 games by a total of 4 points against 2 top 5 teams. Miami split the bit last night, that's a big one as well that we
Yep.
could talk about. But
That was
to be
crazy.
Only
honest, I mean,
losses.
and hell, A&M was trying to lose that one tonight. To
Oh,
Katrina.
Did you
that's
But
catch
another one.
the Louisville head coach has the most ACC wins out of all the coaches in the ACC right now? But it's like you never hear about them at the end of the year. Well, you hear about them, but like they're never like Like last year, you heard it was SMU, Clemson, Miami. I don't think you heard any much of Louisville, but I don't know. That kind of surprised me when I saw that.
Russell says that Fanatic Perspective and Johnson both spazzed out over how Texas played. They think they're going to lose to Mississippi State.
Oh man, they might. Man, Mississippi State, Florida got lucky that game, man.
Hey, Jason, he ain't lying. I caught a little bit of it, and our boy was like going ham on Stark.
On Sark?
On Stark. And it's like he got an F for his for the game plan and all of this. And I'm like, wait a minute. This is the same one that, oh, he has a great game plan. All of that, boy. Y'all better be lucky you caught us when you did.
Man,
Wait.
I really think it's starting to look like Texas prepared for OU all season, and that's like all they did.
No, it
Because
was
they,
that
I don't even
OU
think
did
it's
not
that.
play
I
very
think
damn
Texas
good.
just the stars aligned with Texas. I mean,
man,
Arch played out of his mind compared to any sample size we've ever had. He just had the game of his life, and then we had Mateer that was injured. Our defense didn't play up to what we should do. There's no way you can tell me that if we had a healthy Mateer, that there's any circumstance where Texas beats us. There's no way.
man, I don't know.
There's no
That
way.
game's always crazy though.
It is. And how about Auburn? My goodness, how can you blow that game at the end?
Oh yeah, that's
Terrible.
what we were
I,
just talking about.
is Freeze fired by 8 a.m. tomorrow? I don't know.
Sounds like he
They
could
might.
be, but and I think Billy Napier is going out either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Billy's
done.
Yeah, I
next.
heard rumors about that before the game even started.
I mean, I think, and at this point, when you start looking at LSU losing, there's another huge game. Vanderbilt. I mean, look. I mean,
Ooh,
shout out
I
to
love it.
Vanderbilt, man.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
I want a big parlay on that one. Them beating LSU, and is
Yep.
BK now in trouble?
Yeah.
All I
Because
gotta say is the 3-7 is really quiet right now.
I think Vandy goes and beats
Represent
Texas in
337.
Austin.
It's really quiet up in these parts right now. That's why I'm on here, man. I ain't got nobody to talk to anymore, bro.
I don't see that. Sooners to win says, does Dabo survive the season? Yes, he does. But if he continues treating it the way that he is, gaslighting everybody who talks about, who dares, throw any kind of criticism his way, I think that it's starting to get old. It's got to be getting old because from what I heard, he was making comments about, we're paying these kids all this money and look what we're getting out of it.
Man.
We're paying you all this money too, bro. You're $13 million a year.
Have y'all
You
noticed the
know,
trend since BV? I mean, I'm sure y'all have, but I don't know if anybody else has noticed the trend since BV left Clemson. The decline Clemson's been in. I mean,
The
Say it again.
Clemson collapse is just amazing.
Facts.
It is amazing. I mean, even with the new DC, you should be able to still be able to compete, and it's just
at least
trash.
offensively. I mean, you have teams that compete without a defense. I mean,
Well, look at Lincoln Riley, I guess. I don't know.
I see. I wasn't gonna say it. I wasn't gonna say it, but I held back.
Hey,
I was about to say, look at Lincoln Riley, what he did at OU, but I wasn't gonna bring them bad
all
juju
I
up.
got to say to Dabo, hey, Wes Goodman, he wasn't a problem.
everything has been, you know what? He's all this problem shit started off with DJU and then it went to Klubnik
Yes.
and it's
Yep.
all their coordinators and everything else. And it's all these other dudes. It's never been Dabo, but it's Dabo, folks.
Oh yeah.
Well, he refuses to participate in NIL. He refuses to adapt.
They have money too.
He has to be the Michael Scott of college
hold on, they're
football.
paying guys
Yes.
because otherwise you don't have guys like Sammy that went, Sammy, what's his name, the linebacker. You don't have some of those cats. There's no way you do. And Bryant Wesco and some of those other dudes, right?
Right.
Ken Klubnik, for that matter. You don't have them.
Yeah.
Let's not get it twisted and act like they don't pay anybody. What they're not doing is paying enough of the right guys like offensive linemen. They've struggled on the O line.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard about that their D line guys are probably not going to continue to stay around much longer. I don't know.
Yeah, because they're coming to OU now.
I wouldn't be surprised. It wouldn't surprise me, man. And I think that their little agreement shit is over with.
Hey, and I think that OU needs to go to Auburn, that Coleman, and drop a bag and say, "Come over to a team that wins."
Mm-hmm.
I second
Get
that.
Coleman.
Yeah. Listen, to me, Clemson's in deep shit. I think that, but BK has got to be right there behind them. And I'm wondering, and I think I said this earlier.
I think he's ahead of him.
He's got to be more. He's got to be looking at that Penn State job, thinking, that might be a better deal for me. Because he's a Northeast guy. He's a Northeast guy, right?
Yeah.
He's one more out there. He fits more of who those kind of people are out there. And it doesn't feel like anybody really likes him at LSU, and he's not a Southerner. Dude, when I saw like his little, and talk on this, Kyle, a little bit, because you're in the boot. When I watched him on that Netflix deal and he was having his little dinner party, drinking party, whatever the hell that was, it seemed really weird to me.
That's a facade, bro.
It didn't look like, but it didn't look like anything that you would see in Louisiana.
No. Even like the restaurants I hear them, they take their recruits to. I live 30 minutes from BR. I ain't never heard of them restaurants, bro. They got to be like high-end VIP. If you ain't taking, you ain't going to take them to Raising Cane's, which there's like 30 Raising Cane's in BR. But, they got places to take them. But I get it. They're high-end recruits. You want to take them to the nice places. But like even when I was in Oklahoma, like I noticed where you see the restaurants where the recruits taken out. It's out in the open, but they make it seem like it's all like a secluded place. But I don't know. That's just weird to me. I don't think that's how they did it before BK though.
He's different, man. He's just different.
Yeah, he's definitely
way different.
And at some point, you have to start looking at what you've got here. You were blaming your defense the last 2 years, and that defense is legit now. But now all of a sudden, and you've got all the money they spent on the receivers that they brought in there. They already had good receivers there anyway. And then obviously having another year with Nuss, and they can't move the football.
Yeah. But the thing is, he's not even – I don't even think he's a play caller on either side of the ball. So you got an OC and a DC. So what is he doing? Like, that's what I've been asking everybody, and they don't have an answer. Like, what is he actually doing other than making excuses in post-game press conferences?
It also feels – he definitely does that.
That's all he does. He started blaming the media. Like,
of course he did.
He's calling the media spoiled just like for not winning games.
Yeah.
LSU got a high expectation, man. I think it's right up there with OU, just like talking around my peers and stuff. Like, it's playoff or bust at LSU. Like, if you don't make playoffs and have at least a shot, you're not gonna last
Coach
long.
O won a natty and was gone 2 years later.
Yeah. Well, Coach O was released on some political stuff, but
I understand that. But listen, if he had won, if you're going to tell me that he just won another one or went to another playoff, that they'd have fired him.
For sure,
because they would not have.
I think right now, if there was like on a vote on like LSU fans, I think they'd take Coach O tomorrow, like without a doubt.
Yeah. He's gonna do, and it sounds like he's ready to get back into it. I don't know. Kind of looking at this other one, Texas Tech takes a dive today. Loses to Arizona State. Arizona State.
Yeah.
Listen, all this money that you're spending. Listen, all the money that you're spending, all the shit you're talking, and I don't know that. Look, what are you going to do when you got to deal with BYU?
Well, and that's the thing is that Arizona State without Scadaboo, they aren't shit.
I think they're still okay.
Yeah, Sam Levitt's.
But they're not the same. They're not as good, right? They're not as good.
Well, I don't know. They were a one-trick pony with Scadaboo. It was Scadaboo 24/7. He made that offensive run. He made that offensive run.
And a good number one receiver. And I think that what they have is a dynamic play caller in their head coach too is part of it. But that's what you saw today was Joey McGuire got outcoached big time.
Yeah, and I could be wrong on that because I just haven't watched a lot of Arizona State this year, to be honest. But
They're legit.
I
They're
mean,
legit. They've
Yeah,
lost a
and they
couple of
got the
games, but
quarterback back for this game. He just came back off an injury.
you know, the biggest Big 12 disappointment I have right now is Kansas State. Like, man, they had
I
all
think
the
it's Iowa
potential.
State. They're
I
not
don't know,
good.
man.
are they not now?
Kansas,
Did they just fall apart or what? Because I
Who,
knew they
Iowa
lost
State?
to Cincinnati. But I didn't know. Did they lose today or something too?
I don't
Iowa State.
know.
I don't even, did they even play?
I don't
I
know.
don't think, I don't
I
know if
They
they
didn't
just
see it.
played or
haven't
not.
looked good.
Yeah,
No,
let me
they're
check
on a
the Big
bye
12.
this week. I don't see them on the scorecard.
Yeah, they didn't play. They didn't play this week, but they've got that. They lost that game to Cincinnati, and that's pretty much their only loss. I think Cincinnati
Guess,
goes and blows out Okie Light. Okie Light is still. They
I was
haven't.
about to say that. I was about to say, guess who got curb
Oklahoma's
stomped again
won a
today?
Big 12 game. Oklahoma's won a Big 12 game since the last time Okie Light did.
You know, I
Man,
think what could be primetime TV is Oklahoma State versus Bixby High School.
the battle of
Primetime
the
TV.
last place.
I would have Bigsby High School by 20.
Mm-hmm.
And for people that are acclimated with Oklahoma football, Bigsby is an Oklahoma high school football team in the Tulsa area. They just beat the crap out of what was it, Enid?
Yeah, 92-0.
92-0, and within 3 minutes of the game, they were up by 30. They are just a world beater, but I think they could beat Oklahoma State. Pretty hilarious.
Florida
Yeah.
State's about to lose to Stanford again.
What's the score? I haven't been.
13-20. They got the ball though, so they might pull it off. It just went to commercial. I just seen the score. I didn't even realize there was still a game playing.
Right.
Damn California
But
games.
still, somehow, Florida State's getting screwed out of the playoffs.
Yeah, that's
I tell you what, Florida State, it's talk about a quick turn of events. They're going to end up.
man.
Look, this if they don't win this game, and it looks like they're not going to win this game, by the way, they may. I think you could end
Later,
up
Bishop.
seeing. You're going to end up seeing Mike Norvell fired in the same year that he starts off beating Arizona or starts off beating Alabama. You can't tell me that it's okay that you can only get up for these huge games. You know, you can get up for that, but you can't get these guys to get up well enough to beat Stanford, who's 2-4,
Yeah, man. That's
and lost most of their roster whenever they fired that coach way late in the cycle. I
so.
mean,
Is
something's
Norvell in the
wrong
hot
there,
seat
man.
too?
Oh, dude, absolutely.
I mean,
I think
do
he's
you
out.
think
I think he's out. I think he may
do
be
you
out
think they
now.
ride the Gus bus though? Like they
Nope,
just promote within?
I do not. I
No.
do not. Mm-mm.
So you think he's going too, or you think he just stays at
I think
OC?
that that's a prime. I think that's a prime candidate for James Franklin slash. I think they're going to try to go make a big splash hire
Yeah, because I ain't gonna
without
lie,
a doubt.
Gus is a pretty good play caller. Like he gave us fits when we played UCF.
Yep. What up, Sully? Appreciate you, my guy. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. For the super chases, what's happening, my brother Jason? Not a man. I appreciate that. And Bishop Frank, thank you for uh, donating membership. Mr. Dilligaff is the recipient of that one as well. Good stuff, man. We appreciate that, guys. Good stuff. Texas
Yeah.
Tech came back and had the lead and blew it. Now, listen, I mean, and as far as like their quarterback being hurt, I didn't know that he should have been the starter at the start of the year anyway. I think the guy that they had coming in, he's a blue chip dude. He killed it in Elite 11 2 years ago. He came from Hutto in Texas. He's a badass. The dude has a monster arm. So to me, it surprised me that look, man, there's not much excuse that you get to make whenever they're overspending like they are outspending everybody and doing what they're doing. And McGuire has undersold or oversold and underdelivered for a while now. I like Joey McGuire for the most part, but all that shit he talks and he don't win a lot either. You know, so I don't know, man. I think that I think the two biggest losers of the weekend might be Joey McGuire and Mario Cristobal. Mario Cristobal may not. He could win out and may not be able to get into the championship game for the
Man.
ACC.
And then they still got games to play. He usually don't fold until the end of the year.
Right,
I mean,
right. Indiana's a contender, maybe.
mm,
I don't buy
They're gonna.
that.
They
No.
might be a contender for the Big Ten.
I don't know.
I don't know that I believe in them yet
I
either.
think that
But listen, they beat Oregon. They
yeah,
did
I
beat
was about to
Oregon.
say that. I
They
think that Oregon win kind of carries them a
Well,
good
that's the
ways.
thing. They had one good upset. Other than that, and the idiocy of Indiana to give that ridiculous contract to him. Everybody complains
Man,
about these ridiculous contracts to coaches, and then they give Spaghetti this ridiculous contract to where he's the what third or fifth highest paid coach in college football. Based on what? I
They
mean,
may
2 years from
because he
now, he
went on
could.
the road and there was a lot of people talking about hiring him. That's why Penn
he's a
Yeah,
State.
Saban
yeah, but two
prodigy though.
years from now, he could be 2-10, and everybody's complaining in Indiana. Why did we give him this contract? And this happens with so many programs
It
time and
does.
time again.
It does. But here's the thing: if what it showed what it showed at Indiana, and here's what I'll say about it. I don't know that I trust and believe that they're going to be a contender moving forward. I think that it's just a different world that we live in right now as far as who could be contenders and who can't.
Agreed.
It's not just a blue blood thing all the time anymore. Now, what I will say, I still believe that if you're one of the, there's the haves and have nots. I think haves are still going to have the leg up. But what Indiana's did, and this is what I was just saying to Stat Guy earlier about South Carolina, he was like, I don't see us ever winning the Natty. Well, that may be true, but you have every opportunity, the same opportunity that anybody in the SEC has, if you're willing to spend the money, because you make the same amount of money as anybody in the SEC, right? You may not have as many boosters and stuff like that, but if you're winning, they'll come. They will come along, right? So with Indiana, they make a lot of money. They realize that you're going to make more money with football than you will with basketball. I know it's a basketball school, but they decided and they've made it. I mean, obviously
But I
they've
think they make the
put their
playoffs
money
just
in
by looking
him.
at their schedule.
They should. Oh, they're a playoff
Yeah,
lock.
yeah.
They're a
Because
playoff
I
lock.
mean, they don't have Michigan or Ohio State. They have their toughest preseason team would be Penn State, and yeah,
Hey, so before I get off of here, can I ask you guys one last question?
Yeah.
Uh, so game day, the James Franklin appearance,
I didn't get to see it much.
the rehab tour. I mean, it was so awkward. Uh, what are your feelings on that, Jason? Because I know for me, it was so ass, man. It was like, well, I was a failure, but I'm ready to go out coaching again. And ESPN was promoting the crap out of him. And I'm like,
Hold on.
why? It was the most bizarre
Yeah.
Because
segment on the ESPN game day that I've ever seen.
well, here's the thing. There's a reason why it probably did huge ratings. But let's just think about this for a second. This dude was winning 11 games a year. I understand that he wasn't beating Ohio State. I understand that when he got into the playoffs, yeah, they beat SMU, yeah, they beat Boise, but they were literally they lost by one score to Notre Dame. They were that close to playing in the national championship game last year. I want to look at his career record here real quick. Um, I mean, this is a dude that has won. He's got more than 100 wins at at Penn State. He's the only coach that's got more wins than him at Penn State is Jopa. That's it.
And
So,
how did those wins correlate to this year, though?
well, obviously, I think that there comes a point. sometimes it doesn't fit where you are necessarily. I'm going to tell you that I think James Franklin's a pretty damn good football coach because until now, nobody else has won at Vandy. He won 9 games at Vandy. Hell, they haven't
He
even
did.
done that
Yeah,
yet.
you're
You know what
right.
I mean? This is a guy that, he's, let's look at his overall record is overall 128-60. You know, Uh, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And so to be able to do that, and I mean, I would just tell you that I'm not, and just so we understand, I'm not even a Franklin fan. I tend to agree that I don't think that he's as good, but I also think that there's whatever's going on within that, and maybe it's something, a fatal flaw with him and how they're doing it. But look, their offense has never taken off. It's never taken off. Their defense is legit. It's as good as anybody else in the country, but their offense hadn't been able to take off. At some point, you're going to have to be able to take off. So, was it interesting to me? It was. What interested me the most was he didn't give a shit about that money. He didn't ever have to do another. He could be on the set with those guys. He he's a good interview. He knows what he's talking about. He could do all that shit and make shit tons of money. He can't wait to coach again.
Yeah.
That was interesting to me.
Yeah, but he just got paid $50 million to fail this year. That's the
Well,
I
yeah,
mean,
but
problem with
we're
these
talking about 1 year,
ridiculous
correct?
contracts.
yeah, that's one
We're
year.
talking
I
about
mean,
1 year,
until
though,
this
bro.
year, he was winning every game he was supposed to win. He just wasn't winning the ones he wasn't
Hey,
supposed to win.
Jason, can I?
I mean,
Well, because
Yeah,
nine
jump in,
out of
Jeff.
his 12, because 9 of his 12 teams that he faced every
Jump
year were
in?
trash.
I
Yeah, hold
mean,
on, quick corrections. We got Jeff in here as well, Jeff Shear.
Oh
Um,
boy.
yeah, jump in. Say what you got to say about this. You're talking about Franklin, obviously. Hello, Jeff. You hear me? Hello, Jeff.
Hey, buddy,
Yeah,
can you
can
hear
you
me?
guys hear Jeff? Yeah, I got you. Can you hear me?
Can you guys?
He's got that Boost Mobile.
Hey, look, any win in the SEC is a good win.
Hmm. Well, talk to us about
So
what you think about this James Franklin deal.
any win that you put on the road, you'll take in the SEC.
Okay, I think he's having a hard time hearing
About
me.
James Franklin, I think he's succumbed to high expectations. I think he's a very good coach, but since he's up there at the top of the ladder and he loses, now they think. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead. I can hear you, bro.
Yeah,
Jump out and come right back
yeah.
in.
I just think Franklin is because of high.
yeah, he was cutting out.
Yeah, I think
I
he's
heard him
cutting.
fine,
I was
but
hearing him fine, but I think he may just be behind, is what it is. I think he's
he
just
might be
behind.
listening on a separate
Yeah. Hold
device.
on. We're gonna have Coach Dent come in. Guys, I'm gonna have you guys go ahead and finish up. Give me one more thing to talk about, and then we're gonna let some other guys on too.
So I got a wild take. It
Okay.
might be crazy. I think LSU upsets A&M next week.
You think who does?
LSU upsets A&M.
Oh, I can see that. That's not
It's
even
in
that.
Death Valley. I
Yeah, it's at
mean, I think that flips the whole SEC. Not the whole SEC, but I think it gives it a wild turn. LSU always has that wild game once a year, and A&M's a little bit of a rivalry, but
it is.
yeah, I think they could pull it off because their offense looked good for the most part versus Vandy, but
They played better than they have on offense, right? They
yeah,
played better than they have. But shout
yeah,
out to Diego Pavi. He lit it the hell up today.
man, Pavia, and
I love that dude, man. I love watching him play.
there's not much Heisman comp this year. I think it's out of Pavia and Mendoza at Indiana. I think it's out of them too.
Uh, Jeremiah Love just put himself on the scene.
Yeah, that too. I forgot about that. Yeah, that too.
If that the only thing is that they really don't have a whole lot of they don't have much coming aside from that. Jeff,
Yeah,
can you hear me now, buddy? Okay, I think you may just be a little bit behind. Yes, we can hear you, bud. Go ahead, and we're talking about James Franklin though. What are your thoughts about what's going on there? Hmm. We got Hughes about to be the third coach they're paying to not coach there that's still there, right?
Well, Oklahoma is thankful that we won. I mean, we blew them out. And good luck, Mizzou, trying to run the ball on us.
No, they didn't.
No, no, I'm sorry. I'm
Real
sorry.
quick, go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, I'm sorry. Not Auburn, South Carolina. I'm sorry.
Mm.
I also think they're having some struggle with coaching and stuff like that too. But I also think that it's like what we were saying earlier. You needed to find a way to win this. I want to welcome in uh, Big Cuz Marcus Dent. We're gonna have corrections. You got anything else you want to say? And then I'm gonna have these other guys get a few
Yeah,
minutes.
no, 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 no. I'm good. Hey, I'm looking forward to this weekend. We're going to beat the hell out of Ole Miss. Let's go. I'm still 10-2 or better. Let's go. Boomer Sooner.
All right, man. Boomer Sooner. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Kyle, any parting words for us, man? Appreciate you coming in.
Nah, bro. I think I'm all good, man. I got my
All
little
right, man.
talking points out.
Hey, man. Well, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for
All
coming
right,
in.
man. Catch you
All
later.
right. Later. Because what's up, man? Can you hear me?
Man, yeah, I can hear you well. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you. What's up,
Yeah,
man?
man. Yeah, man. I just want to kind of bounce off what the guy was saying about James Franklin. Man, it's a lot of programs in this country would love to have a guy that could bring them wins like James Franklin has. Um, I think, man, you take a team like just say in their own conference, you take Michigan State. They probably would jump over the moon to have a James Franklin. Um, I think Florida State, being in the ACC is not that tough. You don't have to have that grind that you have in the SEC. I don't think he will ever come back to the SEC, but you got to look at the body of work that he has done. Even Nick Saban gave him his flowers, and Nick Saban just don't give you your flowers for nothing. He give you your flowers because he knows what he done in that program. And for somebody to say, well, they paid him all that money for one win, I mean, for one losing season, man, that's ludicrous. I think they screwed up by firing him. And Jason, the reason why I feel like they screwed up because everybody's going to pick that team apart out of the portal, and whoever coming in, they're going to have to rebuild that whole program. because they're
Hey, and
going to get
I'm
picked
listening
apart.
to you right now. I got to hit the head real quick, but speak on that right there because this is a 30-day window that these guys can freebie go into the damn portal, and all they can do is get picked off. Nobody else. I mean, they can't they can't go get anybody out of the portal. They have to get picked off
Right,
by it. That's wild to me.
right. So, 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 what I'm saying is, just think about this: from January the 2nd to to January the 16th, 14 days is all you got this year. No spring portal. Everybody in the country is going to pick Penn State apart. I would not want that job. I would not want that job. I don't care who you are. I would not want that job because you don't even have a spring portal to even try to rebound from what you're going to lose. And if you're a really good football coach right now, even if you already then kind of made some kind of deal, you still trying to coach your team. So you don't really have time to be out recruiting or whatever. You're on, and if you, especially if you make the playoff, if you're a coach that's going to make the playoff, man, your window is short. You're going to have the Penn States of the world. You're going to have the Indianas of the world. You're going to have the OU of the world. You're going to have everybody who's going to want to pick up kids. They're coming for Penn State kids because they got some really good players on that team. And kids say, hey, look, man, my coach is gone. I'm out. I'm going to find me a bigger paycheck. I'm going to find me a steadier place to play. I don't want to be a part of the experiment. And that's what's going to happen. That's coming. So I can't say it was crazy for paying um, Indiana's coach all that money because guess what, man? He is one. He is a disciple of the Nick Saban tree. So guess what, guys? They're gonna pay him, and guess what? They're making a lot of money with him winning. I don't care if they don't win a natty. If they win 9, 10 ball games at Indiana every year, they're gonna put people in the stands. They're gonna sell merch. They're gonna make money. It's worth them paying him that kind of money. But I'm telling you, that Penn State hire is going to shock everybody because I'm telling you, whoever gets that job has got one foot on a banana peel and the other one in the grave. Because I just don't feel like Jason is going to be, you know, as glamorous as it is. Because um, I was going through, some different things today, and I heard this one guy talking about firing Levy and all that kind of stuff. And Leb's just been there, since second year. But what I'm gonna say about not about the job that he's doing, you can't fire a coach in the second year. Number one, this NIL era will eat you up. Number one, you're gonna have too much money to pay that coach. Then you're gonna lose that team. So you started from scratch. That's why you don't see. That's why you don't see teams get rid of coaches in 3 years just like they used to. Because financially it costs you. It costs you coaches, it costs you players. So, I just think, I think Penn State screwed up. I really think they screwed up by getting rid of James Franklin because this
The
era,
more I
this
think
day
about
and
it, the more
time,
I think so too. I think
yeah,
so too.
I
And
think
he
it's
may
gonna
not
be
have won
tough
a
on them.
national championship, but that doesn't mean he's still not one of the better coaches in America.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I agree. I think Florida State take him in a heartbeat, don't you?
Yeah, and I wouldn't be that surprised if they end up taking him at Florida either. I know that the Florida fan base is not wanting anything to do with him, but because they want a quote unquote splash guy, they think they're getting Lane. They think they're getting Kiffin. They're not getting Kiffin. I don't think.
Nah,
I
nah.
don't think so.
I
And
don't think they get Kiffin. I think, his son just got to Oxford High School, playing high school football there. His daughter is there. He's kind of rooted in the church community there. Man, Lane's a changed guy. He's a different guy
right,
than what he was when he was a lot younger. But the reason why I say James Franklin would not come to the SEC because he's smart. And he knows if he comes to the SEC, what he has to deal with every week.
But if you go to Florida State, you're probably going to the SEC.
Well, not right now. Maybe later on down the line. You
True.
might be right about that, but not right now.
Well,
You talking about what,
I don't know.
3, maybe
I
4
think
years
that you
from now?
probably, yeah, I think that they're willing to pay enough at Florida that I could see them going after him. I also keep hearing things about Drink possibly being one of their candidates. You've got
Oh
to
wow.
listen to the talk about the guy at Georgia Tech, Brent Pry, or no, it's not Brent Pry. It's or is it? Wait, what's his name again at Georgia Tech?
I don't know his name either.
Keys,
Key, yeah,
Keys,
right. Hmm.
Rick Keys. Um, I don't see Lane going to UF either, but to me, I think this is you're about to start seeing a big hop around. I would, hell, I heard people talking about Cliff Kingsbury for Florida, and I think it's
I did
hilarious.
too. I
By the
heard
way,
that. I heard that. I
I'm
heard
like,
that
you
today.
motherfuckers are incredibly crazy. The dude had Baker and Patrick Mahomes and never won more than 7 games. Then he fails up to Arizona and gets Kyler and can't win more than 7 games. Right? I
Yeah,
just think it's
yeah.
wild. Um, but and that's another one is do they if they'll go with Cliff Kingsbury, would they not go with a guy like Lincoln if they can
Man,
pull it off?
yeah, but there's going to be, Jason, I think there's going to be a record number of jobs open at the end of the year. I don't think Kelly makes it. I don't think he makes
You
it
don't
to the
think
end of
Kelly
the year.
makes it?
Mm-mm.
Wouldn't surprise me there.
I don't think he makes it. He's. I see him losing at least to us. I see us beating him. You know. Um, I heard them say something about he might pull up upset next week with Texas A&M or something like that. Man, right now they struggling so on offense. I just don't see it. I don't see it, man. And I think I think his agent is shopping him right now to get up out of there, kind of like he did at Notre Dame. I think they're shopping him to get up out of there right now. And I think a place like Florida State, where he does not have to deal with as many tough teams like he does in the SEC, that Florida State job is going to be real interesting because it's going to come open. This is it. This is it for Novell. This is the last ride.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
think that he's. I mean, if especially you lose tonight, even if you get away and find a way to win this Stanford game, which I don't know if they're going to or not, but I mean, no, Stanford beat them. Stanford beat them, so I think that they're in trouble. If you can't
Yeah.
find a way to get up for everybody, not just for the Alabama game, then you're
Hmm.
screwed. And I think he's
Well,
screwed.
and I think that Alabama game, man. This is what I. This is just my take on it, man. I think they just was not ready. I think they were still putting pieces to the puzzle. Um, and I think I'm just gonna. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I said this at the beginning of the year on your show. I think Alabama is probably one of the better teams in the country right now. If I had to pick a team to
Alabama's
say,
playing
do
better
you
than
think?
anybody.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They could play with anybody,
I think they're
and
playing better than everybody.
you said it yourself. Go look at him. Year two. Go
Yeah.
look at year two. What he has done everywhere he's went.
Yeah, I'm gonna go pull that up real quick. As a matter of fact, now that you say that, because
You know,
um,
he is year two. It's lights out,
mhm.
and that's what he's been doing right now, man. He's got Ty Simpson playing at a high level, man. He fixed some situations with that offensive line. Defense is flying around the football. Man, they look like a complete football team right now.
Right.
You know,
So
uh, and it's coaching. And, a lot of what he's doing right now is coaching. Man, I don't want to get into what happened last night with Smoot and Shouty, but you know, you know, you know, you saw a little bit
that
of
was
what
must see TV, bruh.
Hey, you saw a little bit of what Smoot was what he was talking about tonight.
You did.
Although they
You did.
won, but I
But they
disagree
couldn't
with
stop
him.
anybody either. And listen, that's what I was saying. It's a different game. Look, everybody, the people that are worried about Ole Miss coming in, and I'm not saying I'm not worried about them, but Ole Miss isn't going to be able to do what they did in Athens today
No, they're not.
against Oklahoma's defense.
Mm-mm.
That's not going to happen.
Because they're
So,
not going to be able to run the football,
correct.
and
Right.
that's going to be Lane has to run to throw,
Hmm.
and that was the problem last year when they lost Judkins and the other kid got hurt. That's the reason why they didn't make the playoff because they could not run the football. And against this defense, you got to realize, guys, against a heavy NFL team last year, we had that team going into the halftime. We led them going into the halftime with a defense that wasn't as good as what we have right now, and an offense last year they had that was a lot better than what they have right now.
No
So
doubt.
I don't feel like you know we should be we should come up short against Ole Miss. Number one, they don't have the
It's a home
depth.
game too. That's the other
Yeah,
part. It's a home game.
yeah, and they don't have the depth. Georgia is not what Georgia used to be.
Mm-mm.
And I've said it before, they are losing recruits, man. They can't even keep their in-state recruits the last 2 years. So their depth is not the same.
Hmm.
So I look for Kirby. I want to say Kirby comes back next year, but I say he hangs it up after next year.
I don't know where I'm going with that. I don't even know that I would go there with Kirby on that. And I think Kirby, listen, shout out to for everything that you just said, which isn't necessarily. It's I'm not saying you're wrong. He's had these two games against Tennessee, and Tennessee was on the road. They should have won. And hell, Ole Miss had a double digit lead with
Hmm.
what 5 minutes left and
Yeah,
didn't cover the spread. It didn't go to overtime. He didn't cover the spread. So
I agree. I
I
agree.
mean, these guys. I mean, look, it tells you that he can still coach them to get them
Oh
to
yes,
do what they
sir.
need to
Yes,
do
sir.
at
Yes,
the end,
sir.
right?
He can
Yeah.
still coach Jason. I'm not saying he to me he is still one of the top tier. I don't want to
Well,
put
I think he's the best
one,
coach in
two,
the country
three.
still to me.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I still
yeah,
say he top tier, but they are used to a certain way. They're used to the Saban way. They're used to stacking talent. They're used to having twos that were better than ones. I mean, and they don't have that now. And
yeah. Well, and it's an adjustment to make. But
it's an
here's the thing:
adjustment to make.
he's still right at the top.
I just don't know how long he will want to make that adjustment. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying
Here's
that
what,
he's going to
and
get
going
out because he
back to Kalen
can't
DeBoer
win.
real quick. Going back to Kalen DeBoer real quick, I brought that up. So his first year as a head coach at this level, obviously was 2020 Fresno State. He took over when they fired the other coach. Went 3-3. He goes 9-3 the next year. That's his worst
Significant.
year two. That's his worst year two as a head coach was 9-3.
Mm,
His first year at Washington, they go 11-2. And by the way, and that's significant because they were not very good the year before that. I think they were 6-7, something like that.
right. Right.
The year after that, he goes 14-1, plays in the national championship game, right?
Mm,
So he goes 9-4 a year ago. They're 5-1, and if you remember what they were talking about after that first game against Florida State, and rightfully so because they didn't whatever was going on there, they were not fully motivated to play well, and there was it didn't effort was not good, right? The effort wasn't good, but what you've seen since then is a quarterback that's definitely playing better than anybody else in the country.
yes.
I don't care about his numbers necessarily; those are good
Mm-mm.
too. But
His
he's winning
efficiency.
games.
Yeah, his
That's right.
efficiency is what matters to me. I mean, his
Right.
leadership, the way he commands the team, the things that he do on the field in third down situations, critical situations, man, it speaks volumes for what Alabama is doing. After that second game, man, What this is what I can say about him. I have watched him get better every game, and that's critical. If you watch a quarterback get better every game, the team is going to get better every game. And I think like last year you had Jalen Milrows over there. He wasn't a that wasn't the,
He didn't fit
he
what
didn't
Kalen
fit
DeBoer did at all.
right. He didn't fit with
No.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. And
Right.
now you have a person who fits his system, who fits his
Mhm.
scheme, who fits his way of thinking, who commands the team. Man, I'm telling you, Alabama's going to
Somebody
be
needs to
good.
snatch that black hoodie before OU goes to play him. I'm gonna try to be
That
there
black
all
hoodie.
week. I'll see if I can get it taken care of.
Yeah, that black hoodie has been a good luck charm for him. That's for sure. But
It has.
yeah, man,
Hey, we've got a Will I in here as well, along with
okay.
Jeff. Which are you guys? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
What's up? Yeah, we got you. What's up, Will?
Hey, Jason,
What
I
do you
just
got?
want you to know. Listen, I listen to your podcast now more than any of these other ones because these other ones be just. I could tell. Did you play football
Yeah,
at any point? Okay, because
I
you
did. I
know a
did. I
lot.
played high school football. I wasn't good enough to play college ball, but I did play high school football.
I could tell you know the game because I hope I'm not going off the riff, but and kind of to piggyback on the dude that was talking about Alabama, he thinks Alabama is the best team.
Yeah.
I'm a diehard OU fan. You know what I'm saying? Like when I tell you what I'm about to tell you, man, listen. You've been so accurate even going back a year ago. Once again, it's one thing that you've been talking about that I still haven't seen yet, and it just still makes me mad. I wonder why these guys, when they get in open field, like our skilled players, they just can't make, like, we don't have no slashers. I guess you could say Satania. You're starting to see a little bit more from Tory Blaylock. But I'm just so mad just sitting around looking at college football today. We've been seeing Georgia struggle on the defense side of the ball, and even and ain't nobody made them pay for even their offensive letdowns in games. Even Ole Miss, you can say that about Missouri. Like, what makes me so mad about our coaching staff is I just hope that we're not one-sided thinking. Like, you know what I'm saying? Well, if we hold a team to 24 because with our great defense, even with great defense, it's not going to be good offense. You can have any moments. Like, I guess you can go back to the Texas game where when you said somebody is keeping, you know what I'm saying, keeping your defense on the field. I just want these guys to realize, like, don't have a set score in your head or looking at this team and what they did last week. If we hold them to this many points, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I
Right.
want
Right.
to see us attack more. Now, we did what we were supposed to do today. Hear me when I say that, but it's still something about mature. And I'm still going to say this right now. I still think Michael Hawkins, my dad, gets so mad at me when I say this. I still think to this day Michael Hawkins is better than mature. People are going to probably fight me for that. It's just the and it was before the hand injury. I just saw like you got some players that got it, some players you know what I'm saying that works to get it, but just with mature, I just see a lot of indecisiveness, and I was seeing that
Oh,
even
brother, you
before.
trying to get me in trouble in here tonight,
No,
ain't
like
you?
you've been so spot on, and it's crazy because I was looking at the Caleb Kelly and when Rodney Anderson was talking on Monday. We've been having elite running backs. And as people say our offensive line's trash, been trash, we can't get no movement. For once, I saw OU do something that actually worked and they didn't go away with it. They still tried to make Jaron Kinnick block for some reason. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a little stuff that I've seen today. It's like, why are you doing that? But
Yeah.
I am glad that they allowed just two running backs to get going because that position right there, the reason why you haven't been seeing efficient running from the season is because you're just rotating out five guys. There's no running backs getting continuity. But I'm about to get out of here. I'm just going to say this. I don't think, like you said in the beginning of the season, this looks like a toss-up this year in every conference. You don't know who's going to wake up
No
one
idea who the
day.
national champion is, bro. No
You
idea.
just don't. I like because as much as we can sit up here and say Alabama's the best team, what if they go blow it next week to Ole Miss? And Ole Miss got a little steam to play now because they feel like they blew that game. which is they did.
Mm-hmm. They did
You
blow
know
the
what I'm
game, by
saying?
the way.
And then
They did. Yes.
and this is gonna boil your mind too, and this is for all the Texas haters, because I'm gonna tell you right now, Texas did not beat us this year. They didn't beat us in none of the years, the 10 years that Brent's been there. Brent has allowed Brent and his arrogance at times to beat him. Because you mean to tell me we held South Carolina under 200 some yards when they just been as shitty as they are? They've been running it up on people. Stats don't lie.
Mm.
Kentucky's
Oh, we're
offense is
losing them.
better than ours. If anybody's gonna tell you today Kentucky's team is better than ours, and you tell that team that we lost to last week, you have them under. Go look at Art Manning's stats today. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think looking at that Kentucky and Texas game today, Jason, just validates everything. I almost told my dad, I said, I want Jason to go coach. Because he sees it. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to sit up here and tell me, even looking at Missouri, looking at Ole Miss, looking at Alabama today. Yeah, they got win. So when you look at OU,
Bro, we're losing you a
we
little
have
bit,
the
man. You're
players.
breaking
We
up.
have the skills.
Bro,
My
and
fault.
I
Can you
wish
hear me now?
I hear you better right there. What were you saying though? Go ahead.
What I was saying was, like, even with Alabama, the way they played, I just think that you can't get caught up in analytics as a coach. You can't get caught up into what this team showed you last week against this other team. You know what I'm saying?
True.
I think that's why
No
Vanderbilt's
transitive
making
property stuff. No transitive property stuff.
Yeah, Brent doesn't do that. Brent does not deal in the analytics world. I know that
Sometimes
for a
I feel
fact.
like he does.
Well, I know for a fact that he doesn't because I have a son that plays. He don't really deal with that. Brent is kind of shoot from the hip type of person. When it
Right.
comes to stuff
Little
like
old
that. Now,
school. Little old school,
yeah,
right?
he way too old school for the analytics. Now I can tell you this, and
So
I'm I'm gonna say this
okay.
about what I feel like is going on. You know, and this it's in house, but everybody knows John is not 100%. John is probably, I might say, 80%, maybe 78%. He's going to get better. That hand is going to get better as time goes. He was a little bit better this week than he was last week. He should be a little bit better for the Ole Miss game. You'll see him probably throw the ball downfield a little bit more. We didn't do that this week because maybe those some of the throws he can't complete the way he would have been able to complete them. You know, if
Yep.
his hand was 100% well. But I don't think they looking at we got to score this many points because our defense will hold them and we'll win. They don't. They're not. They don't have that type of mindset. They don't
Okay.
have
So
that
quick
type of
Well,
question.
but
And
mindset.
when you say that, quick question. When you say that, they don't look at that. Okay. So quick question now. Okay. I'm about to go this route. I was hearing some people. I think it was on the Jason. They're twin brothers. They were
Oh
sitting up at
Lord.
Ramos talking about all this team
The
has to do.
Surge brothers, the Surge
Yeah,
brothers.
you know what I'm saying? And some of the stuff I kind of agree with, but some of the stuff I'm like, yeah, they didn't drunk too much, and they yell. When they get to yelling at each other, that's when I'm like, okay, yeah, it's time to stop watching
I don't
y'all.
think they drink, but I know what you're talking
But
about. Yeah, go ahead.
but what goes through my head is anything can happen in college football on any given Saturday. You just saw Miami go down. Do I trust my team? Because say for instance, we don't see it, but what if my defense shows up and they get the best gets handed to them? Can you see this offense carry this team in a game where they got to go out and put up 38 points?
Here's the deal. You think about this. You think about the last time OU won a national championship. The offense didn't carry them then. And then you think about a lot of other teams that have won national championships. I'm not gonna say they've been one sided, but they've been heavy on one side or the other. So you got to let a team identity come together for who they are. I think the offense is gonna get better as John Mateer hand get better. Now we established the run a little bit today. I think we've simplified some things, and that's why we was able to run the football. But I think John is going to get better every week as that hand heals. So you gotta put it out of your mind that you're playing a healthy quarterback because you're not.
Okay,
That's
so you're
not
not
happening
playing a
right
healthy
now.
quarterback, but here's the question I have for that though. if you're not playing a healthy quarterback, then why are you not playing a healthy quarterback in a
That's what I was
situation
just
where
about to say.
I can't answer that for you because here's my deal.
Because that just
Because
doesn't
they
make no
feel like, hold
sense.
on, I'm finna answer it. They feel like that their chances to win with Mateer is there, and I'm gonna tell you something y'all ain't none of y'all thinking about. They knew they messed that kid's red shirt up last year, and they doing everything they can to save it. So they're looking at the future on both hands. You don't know if Mateer gonna go to the league or not. You have no idea. So it's a lot of other things that's going on that you guys don't see. All you see is just this, and they're looking at that.
yeah. No, and I know that there's a lot more to it, but here's the deal. What for Brent, what they did last week was dangerous
Yeah,
because let's say you don't show up this week and he's not any better, or maybe that you got him hurt worse, even though they're saying he's not hurt. I don't buy
no,
any of that shit.
yeah,
I don't buy any of that shit. But because if you're telling me he wasn't hurt against in the Red River, I'm telling you he sucked then because he was 52%
nah,
and he had 3 interceptions. I'm
nah.
not sure that I believe all that, right?
Nah, man. Ray Charles can see
But
that
let me
he
let me
blind
finish. Let me
and
finish.
dead.
Yeah, right. Okay. So, but that's what I'm saying is okay. So you took an awful risk for this week and moving forward too by playing him last week, and at the very least, when it's not going well, to not go with Michael Hawkins in a game like that, to where listen, this is Texas, by the way. You can say it didn't matter that much. It fucking matters. Always matters. And so to me, I thought it was a big and awful risk on his own job that they are continuing to do this. Now, it's the good news that John Mateer played the role of game manager today. No turnovers, whatever. When you turn back on the gunslinger, what happens then? Well, Coach Dan,
Jason, we can't hear you.
you don't hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Hello?
No, I was just
I'm
saying
here.
what
I had you
happens.
on mute.
Okay, no, I was saying what happens whenever you turn back on the gunslinger. Today he was a game manager. What happens when you turn back on the gunslinger? What happens then?
I
And you
I
know what?
think
Coach,
I don't know because at the end of the day, next week, regardless of whatever it is, you're going to have to be more
you're
than
going
a
to have to
game
play
manager
better,
because
are you not?
yes, by all means.
Right.
you're gonna have to play better, guys. But I'm gonna tell you something. Ole Miss offense, they're pretty good, but I think their offense was better last year. And if you look at it, we held them to 10 points. I think it was 10 points last year at the half with a defense that wasn't this good, and we were on the road. So I think everybody kind of antsy right now. I know what Ole Miss looks like. Ole Miss, they can't stop a nosebleed. I can tell you that
Right.
right now.
No, clearly
And
they can't.
they lost a bunch of guys to the NFL, and we handled them last year. Sexton went out. We had I forgot who else. Somebody came in. They got a couple of sacks on us. And Jackson did what Jackson do, and that's kind of how it happened. So I mean, we were we were up on Ole Miss last year at the half. I think we held them to like 10 points at the half with a defense that I don't think was as good as this one. So I think we'll be fine. I think we gotta do what we do, take care of the ball, not turn the ball over. Defense got to give us a couple of turnovers. Yeah, I think we'll be fine. I think the defense had they won the Mulligan last week against Texas. I don't think you're going to see what you saw against. Although they didn't play really bad, they just didn't play up to you know to their standard.
You
So
know what gets me is, and it's just even though it's a rival game, that I have to separate from everything because, like Jason said, in your tenure as a head coach for OU, you only got one out of the four you didn't played, and everyone you didn't lost, your offense was shitty. It was
No
shitty,
touchdowns. No
shitty.
touchdown.
yeah, And I
And,
think
and those things are what I'm talking about. So in games, is there any way as a head coach you I want to see you, just like it threw me off when he badged the defense in the press conference last week, like your defense lost that game for you. That game last week should
I
have been
hated that.
56.
I hated that part.
That game should have been 56-10. Like we touched the ball almost 18 times, 20 some times in the first half where we did nothing with it but
I'm
kick
gonna
field
tell you,
goals.
I'm gonna tell you this right here. If you go look at the third quarter, Texas held the ball for almost 12 minutes, and I think that's what he was
It
talking
was flipped
about.
from the first half to the
Yeah,
second,
yeah.
right? It
I
was 20
think that's
minutes in the
what he
first
was
half
really
for
talking.
OU.
Right,
Correct.
and that's what he, I think that's where he was coming from when he was talking about the defense. You can't have a third quarter like that.
And if you don't
You
think
can't stay
teams
on
are
the
not
field.
paying attention to that and using that, they keep saying who OU strength is. Well, what does a team do against a great offense? They keep them on the sideline.
Well, that
What
was
does a
what.
team do when a team has a very good
Here's the
defense?
deal. What
They keep them on the
don't you
field
think
and
South
tire them
Carolina
down.
looked at that? Don't you think South Carolina looked at what Texas did? They couldn't duplicate it.
I'm not gonna lie. I think South Carolina is bamboozled this year. They even though
What,
it's still SEC, still Division One players. I'm not making excuses for our win today. But at the end of the day, you're not going to tell me that Texas defense is not better than South Carolina's, because they are. They now South Carolina has a very good pass rusher and Dylan
South
Stewart.
Carolina South Carolina got a pretty good defense. We did we the problem is what happened today is not sexy to some people, and that's what we get hung up. We get hung up on a sexy win. It was a win. When the last time we won by that much against a team, a SEC team, period. So
No, you're right.
we
You're right.
have to look at
I'll
we
say this
can't
about
look at
that.
a sexy win. We got to take that was a good solid win.
The point I was trying to make to Marcus, I'm not saying that they needed to go score 50. I don't really care about that. I think when you have a defense that's going to hold most teams under 20, I think that you can win if you score more than 20, right? I don't think that's a problem. My thing is,
But
even as good as this defense is, like let me just say this, as good as this defense is, I think that you have your biggest tests for them are upcoming. We haven't had it yet, right? You've
I
got it
agree.
definitely next week, and then the week after that, and then 2 weeks after that.
Now I'm gonna tell you,
So
I don't think Ole Miss defense is as good as South Carolina defense.
no, I said offensively, our defense hasn't
Yeah,
been tested as much as it's going
right.
to.
We're gonna get
So the
tested
point
down
the
the
point I'm
field
trying to
next
make
week.
is that do you are you able to, if you're going to tell me that we're going to go to Knoxville and that at home next week uh against Ole Miss, that we're going to hold both of those teams under 21 points, I think we win both games.
Me too.
But I don't know that you do that against. We're talking about the two best offenses
Right.
in the country.
and
Hold
that's
on,
what I'm
Jason. I'll be
saying. Because
right
what
back.
if
One
that
second.
game gets because anything can happen. Like as much as we can say Kirby defense has, what I'm saying, went down. I just
Right.
think they played way better offenses than us. Besides the Auburn game, you know what I'm saying. But other than that, they played the Alabama game. You know what I'm saying? The reason why I feel like we have a better chance at beating Alabama while everybody's scared and Tuscaloosa is because, to be honest, Alabama's offensive line, besides Georgia, and I don't think Georgia has elite pass rushers. And what Florida State was able to do, the reason why, and they didn't get no, Florida State whooped them up front. Alabama hasn't went against and Vandy almost did it. Vandy just choked their nuts and forgot how to play football for a couple minutes and realized the team that they were lining up against. But what separates Alabama from every other team right now, while you would say this, so I'm kind of contradicting myself, but at the end of the day, I'm really not. Alabama knows how to not look at strengths and all that. You know what I'm saying? And granted, they got playmakers. I think they have the best receivers in the league right now. But even with that being said, if you go look at their stats in the games, how long it gets, I want to know, are we going to take advantage of, like, look at Kentucky. They were not, if you touch the ball more than the other team that is better than you on the offense side of the ball, and your defense holds them below average, and you can't go win a game, that bothers me. It flat out bothers me. I'm touching the ball and I have 10 more possessions than the next person that I'm lining up against, and we can't win the game. We're controlling the possession. We're controlling the turnover battle, the penalties.
So what game is what I'm asking? This is me listening to you. Me listening to you, it sounds like you got some frustration about where we are as a team. Now, here's my thing about OU. The Texas game, as much as people can talk about it, you have to flush that
It's
game.
over. It's
Oh yeah, I
definitely
flushed
over.
You
it.
have to flush the game, but you can't because you can only go by what they did today. Flush Texas, that's gone.
Okay, so what they did today on 3rd and 2, instead of putting our foot on the gas, what did they call on 3rd and 2? I remember, was it before halftime? It's just like little tendencies that I see that Ben Arbuckle does that just frustrates
Yeah.
me. Like, we don't know how, like, the way our defense, we know our
So
defense is
I mean,
attackers.
you got to give me something more than just that one play because nobody's perfect.
Well, no, yeah,
You got
and
to
I
give
just
listen,
me
don't
here's
you
what
got
I,
to
see.
give me more than that one play.
I don't see a bunch of, like, we just don't attack. Like, we don't seize the
It
moment.
wasn't sexy to you. That's what you're saying.
No, 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 no. I played football. I don't care. I was a defensive player. I don't care about. I like stuff muddy. But when I see opportunity, like I said, we possessed the ball more than they did. I would expect it to see more points. But the reason why I said I expect to see more points, the punch that we have based off a 3rd down stupid calling, or what we do on 1st down, or what we do on 2nd down, or we'll go get 2 first downs and then we end up punting because we'll call a stupid play. Like, this team just don't sometimes in the drive don't stick. Like, prime example right here.
let me just say this.
I have not seen this OC utilized in a game like good OCs do, where they draw up mismatches. Like, we haven't seen Jaron Kennick featured, I guess, since the Michigan game. I don't even think he's ever been featured, where they're
I don't
not
think he's been
using the
featured.
players to their
He
strengths.
didn't.
Like,
He didn't
you're
have
still
big
trying to
games.
run Tory
He didn't
Blaylock
have
up the
big
middle
games since the Michigan game. Matter of
when you
fact,
know our best runs is to the outside. What are we
All right,
doing?
all right. Hold
well,
on,
we
real quick
rushed for
though. Hold on.
160 yards today. So what are you
Here's
complaining
what I would
about?
say to that. Yeah, and I think that he did make an adjustment today.
I
What you
know
didn't
he
see
did.
is what I think that material, like what because it's saying right here, Mateer isn't healthy 100% back, so it doesn't look the same as it would have looked, say, against Michigan, which was
Correct.
probably his best game to me, or maybe Auburn. But because I don't think he played great against Auburn early, he played better late. But here's the thing: what you saw was less of that, where you've got Canick going out there and trying to make a block. Instead, he put Caden Helms, who was an actual blue chip tight end, to
Mm-hmm.
do some of that stuff, right? And probably should have been doing that earlier in the year, even
Should
though he
have.
wasn't going to be a
Should
great
have.
pass catcher. Here's what I would say. I think that what a lot of Oklahoma fans, and I think this is where you're going, correct me if I'm wrong, Dan. A lot of Oklahoma fans are so used to what Lincoln Riley and even before Lincoln Riley, what we were doing offensively during that time, whether you had a great defense or not. What I would tell you is I think a lot of times that was at a detriment even to the good defenses that Oklahoma had. That Lincoln still doesn't know how to take his foot off of the gas and let the clock run, right? It continues to be something that no lead is safe with that guy. No lead is safe. And so there's a balance, and it's a tough balance, I think. What I would say about Texas, I didn't like the idea that whenever it wasn't working and you're throwing interceptions, that you didn't make a change. Okay. That you didn't try to spark them. I said it last week. Don't leave ammo in your weapon when we're in a firefight. Don't do it. And
Now,
I felt like that's what happened. This week, I don't have a whole lot to say bad about Arbuckle. I think that I still don't know. what we're going to see whenever we need it to be more explosive. And I want to see more explosive plays. I definitely want to see more explosive plays. But I think that we saw something new. I like the combo blocks, bro. I like the combo blocks
Mm-hmm.
because that moves some cats.
No, the running game. Listen, what I've seen today from OU's offense, I'm not a bitter fan. I'm just a person that I'm looking on down the line, and then I'm still seeing like certain tendencies today, like um the subbing, the substitutions and stuff like that, bro. Like I just want to see a running back play the whole fucking series. Is that just so hard? Like Rodney Anderson said, 2 series. Your number one running back, because how can he get the? Everybody's been talking about how bad this offensive line been since BV's been under uh, as the head coach. Because Bill Beanbo just didn't, like you say, Jason, didn't just wake up one Saturday morning in the offseason and said, I forgot how to coach an offensive line with all the people he didn't put in the league. Almost put the worst right tackle I've ever seen for play for OU last year. Almost, I think he got a tryout date. You know what I'm saying? What it is though, it's just as important for it to be continuity in the running back room, just as it is important for the offensive line to know at least the offensive line can't in the game can't be like, well, how is Xavier Robinson gonna run? Then y'all go and put Jaden Odd in, and then you go and put Taylor Tatum, and then here
Well,
goes Javante Barnes.
today they kind of
that's
use
where I'm saying as a head coach for Brent, I just don't want to see him as the game is going on. We know you're a defensive minded coach. We know that. But as a head coach, I'm not gonna lie, you're the head coach for a reason. So I'm monitoring substitutions. I'm monitoring when somebody's getting hot. Like I have the power to say, get him the ball. Like Nick Saban used to say all the time, hey, we got to find a way to get Derrick Henry or Devontae
So
Smith
hold
Brenton.
on.
We don't have those type of
You
players.
giving me mixed
But
signals.
another thing that is
Didn't they
bothering me
not do
skill
that
wise,
today?
one thing I did like about Lincoln, and I don't think it's a recruiting problem because everybody wanted Deion Burks. Everybody wanted Satania in the portal. Even Giovanni Gibson, even the freshmen that people were calling trash last year. You know what I'm saying? Go look at all their offers. OU has skill players, but what it is with me
Yeah,
is
let's not get it twisted. They got good guys.
skill players and even good offensive linemen. Are we? Why don't we have a receiver that
All
can
right,
make
Will.
like this?
Real quick, let Dent respond to you real quick here.
Hello, Jason. Can you hear me?
I got you. Can you hear me?
You might be muted.
I'm not muted.
I got you now. Yeah,
Okay.
must been me.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but now what
Hello?
I'm hearing from him. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Jason?
I can hear you. Yes.
Yeah. So what I'm
I can
hearing
hear him.
what I'm hearing right now is maybe a displease in the running backs room, but I think today they kind of showed,
Can you hear him, Jason?
going
I can hear him.
going forward. Going forward, this is what I think they're gonna do. They're gonna have a two running back system. You take Ohio State, they did the same thing with Judkins and the other guy last year. They had a two back system, and it worked really well for them. Both of them got drafted, and they won a natty. So I don't see nothing wrong with a two back system. Now playing 3 and 4, yeah, I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? I don't like it. I think you go with the
I
two
think
back
you have to
system.
do two, don't you? I think a two
Yeah,
back
I love
system
a
is
two
what.
back system. Yeah, I
There's no
do.
way you can do it. And I think, but I like Mackey was talking about it early. You need a guy that's going to get 80%, and the other 20 is going to go to the other guy. That's what I think.
Yeah, I like 70-30, but yeah, I
Or
get it.
whatever the number is,
Yeah,
but you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like it should be you've got your lead dog and then you've got somebody else too.
yeah. You're not looking at 50-50.
And you can
Yeah.
get lucky and get and have a three punch.
Hey, and real quick, let me let Jeff come in here. He's a Missouri fan, and
Oh
he's
Lord.
he's been in here. He's been in here with us for a while. He does the analytics too, but he's been listening to all this just like everybody else. Let me get your opinion, looking at it from the outside, Jeff. Yes, sir.
Mhm.
Preach to that.
Mr. Jeff, can I ask you something? Mr. Jeff, I don't want to interrupt you. Can I ask you something real quick? And I really don't. Between me and you, I don't like Missouri fans, but I respect y'all. But listen, okay, quick question. Okay, so I went back and saw that play. So it's two things for me. So it goes based off of what Jason's been saying for the last 2 years. When is a receiver gonna go up and make a play? Hmm.
Hard in the tackle. So therefore, by the way they lined up, their tight end was ineligible because he was covered up. So you're only sending three guys out, and they sent two of them deep to one side, and then they sent Burks on a post. What they were trying to do on the play was they were trying to catch the other cornerback napping because he didn't have to cover anybody.
Real
So
quick.
he was
Hold on.
basically go ahead.
Real quick. I think they're not hearing you. Give me a one if you guys can hear Jeff right now. Are y'all hearing him at all?
Yeah, I can hear.
He was in there for sure. Now you hear him loud
Yeah,
and clear. Okay,
Yeah,
go
we
ahead.
can hear.
Continue.
yeah. So I was just saying that was a cutesy play on Oklahoma's part. They were trying to catch the off cornerback because he didn't have anybody to cover. And if you watch the play, which I've watched it like 3 times. The off cornerback is about 10 yards off the line of scrimmage, but he notices that he doesn't have a player to cover because the tight end's covered up, and he runs back into the end zone. That is a beautiful knowledge of the game. But Burke gave up on the route. Burke started on his post and then stopped. And it looked like Mateer just threw it up. Well, Mateer expected Burks to be there. And that was the design play by the coaches. That wasn't
If
Mateer.
he stayed vertical, and even Gabe and Teddy said that, and I was getting some because I was sitting in the
It
at the
He
should
end
have
of the
hit
been a
him
day.
late.
50-50.
At
Part of
the
that
end of
was
the
he hit him late though too. He should have hit
But
him
at the end
Yeah.
of the day,
when he
too,
hit the
though,
middle of
y'all,
the field.
the only thing I say was wrong on the quarterback, but he was doing it all day that day, and he did it a little bit today. That's why some of his balls were floating, like you said, Jason, in the show before this today that
He
I
has
watched. Why
yeah,
doesn't he step up in the pocket?
he has bad mechanics. look, he has bad
Needs to step
mechanics.
up in the
Oh
But
pocket.
even
yeah,
if
he
you look
definitely
at that
does
route,
that
Burks, if
now.
you stay vertical, Gabe literally paused it right then and there. He drifts towards like
Yeah,
all the way.
he
Mature threw that ball between the E and the S.
right. But it was
That's a
supposed to
50-50
be
ball. But
yeah, but it
you
was
threw
supposed to
yourself
be
out the play.
but it was a cutesy play that
Got to
Oklahoma
be one at
designed.
a time, boys. One at a time.
They didn't expect anybody to be there. And it was a terrible play call. Look, if you're Oklahoma, I'm a Missouri fan, if I've got Oklahoma's defense and I'm up 6-3 and Texas ain't done dog squat, I'm sitting there thinking if I kick a field goal, it's a 2-possession game. It's not a 1-possession game. They ain't scoring a touchdown on us. That's huge. If you go in up 9-3, it's going to feel like you're up 17-3 for other teams. That's what I'm saying.
I think that's what happened though, because let's say, for instance, we did kick the field goal because that optimistic
You
game that
should
I
have.
don't like to play. We kicked the
Yeah.
field goal. It's 9-3. We're going
Yes.
into halftime realizing that we've held a team
Yeah, that
under
was stupid.
60 yards and
Stupid.
we touched the ball 12 times and we only have 9 points. Like Jason said, you don't think that, or was it you, Jason? It was somebody else. I don't know if it was Brennan Drum. You don't think that defense was sitting in there? And at the end of the day, these are still college kids. They're not NFL dogs like what the Dallas Cowboys is dealing with. Oh, we got to go. No, at the end of the day, that defense was.
I think you lost whatever momentum you may have had.
Yeah.
Like, you
by
get what
not
I'm
kicking
saying?
a field goal.
The defense played so. How does your defense play more snaps than your offense? And that
Well,
has happened in
and
the last 3 years.
In the
I
second
have put
half,
that game away.
second half, they allowed that first drive, which is what it is. But I got to give Sark some credit for what I mean.
yeah,
Listen, he did a great job with that first drive, and then after that, look when
but
you had the
they
next interception.
didn't have over
Go ahead.
6 points in the fourth quarter. I was going to say Texas didn't have like double digits in points until the fourth quarter.
And yes, that's what
I
I was
Until
just
mean,
about
after
to
the
say.
third interception, correct?
They, even though they
yeah,
kept the ball away from us in the second half, like Jason said, he was
but it wouldn't have been. But if
still showing you that he was hurt. He couldn't do nothing. And y'all
I don't.
had a healthy person on the sideline. Everybody keeps
So
talking
let me
about,
ask
well,
you a
he didn't
question
play
though,
because
real quick, Will.
he would have
I
pulled
don't
his
want to
red
stay
shirt.
on Texas. I don't want to stay on
Yeah,
Texas here. What I want to
Yeah,
ask,
yeah.
what are
Please get
you
on
getting
Texas.
at right now what is your concern moving forward after what you saw today?
I want my head coach to step up and be a head coach. I want him
Okay.
to have his nose in every phase of a game, not just defense. I want you to know what your OC is going to call on if we get the ball back, or
How
like
you
let's
know?
play
How you
mind
know
games on
he
the sideline.
doesn't
What
know
if we
that?
go down 3?
How do you
Well,
know
what are
he
you going to
doesn't
do on
know
this
that?
drive? Who's in?
Hold
I
on,
How
hold
do
want
on.
him
you
to
know
be
he
able to know,
doesn't know
stop
that?
all
That's
that
what I'm trying to
substituting.
figure out.
Let's get this, because every
yeah.
time we do hurry up offense, we move the ball.
How do
Okay,
you know that?
Will,
How do you
hold on real
you
quick.
saying
Let
that?
him
But how do
answer.
you know that? How you know he doesn't know what's going on in the ball game?
I think Venables knows
He knows
the
exactly
team.
what's going on. He
Yeah,
just trusts his offensive coordinator to make that call.
I think at this
yeah.
point he's believing in what Arbuckle's doing. Now, I
Right.
think the question and I think it's a fair question for Will to ask though, by the way, of why didn't you tell him to put Michael Hawkins in last week? I think it's a fair question.
I think I wouldn't have put. Look, if he's
I'm not
cleared
asking you what you
medically,
would have did. I'm saying if you've got 3 interceptions and you're not moving the football anymore, I think that's the question, and I think it's a fair question to ask. I'm not saying that he's right
yeah.
or he's wrong. I tend to have the same opinion about it when it comes to what happened last week. Now this week, look, I saw a difference there. I still don't think that Mateer's what he was a few weeks ago
He's
before he
not
got hurt.
healthy,
Fact.
guys. I'm telling you.
Correct, but I will say if he can get back to what he was pre-injury, then I think you're going to do fine. If it doesn't turn back in that direction, I would love it if BV would be willing to say, "Hey, Ben, put the kid in."
Jason, I'm
I'm
gonna ask two. I'm gonna ask two more questions, and I'm about to go. I just had a newborn daughter that was born
Go
2
for it.
weeks
Go
ago.
for it.
You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
congratulations.
So,
congrats.
first question, okay,
Congrats. Heck
really
yeah.
3. Okay, we've been hearing about this Jaden Knox story, this BS. I think it's a bust. We're just gonna get to the point. Y'all wasted money when y'all could have went out and got better players. You could have went out and got Zachariah Branch, who's Georgia's not even using to his full ability. For 2, somebody said the other day, I don't know if it was on your talk show. I watch a lot of talk shows, but they said, what if it was a business decision? And the business decision that I'm gonna ask you now
That
is,
was on my show. That was on my
okay,
show.
babe, it was the Georgia dude. Now I'm remembering
Yeah, it was Shardy.
the business decision. And no, he did mention it. What if? Because you've been saying it, all you've been hearing in the off season is Michael Hawkins is lighting it up against the first team D. We've been hearing that. Yeah, we knew Material was good because he knows the offense. But what if it is to the point where they don't want a Caleb Williams situation? Because you've
Look,
been saying it all year. Material has turned the ball over. Luckily today he didn't do it because they didn't run the offense through him. Any of our quarterbacks could have went out there today
Okay,
and could have
you
operated that
asked the
offense.
question. Let me. What's your second question, and then we'll answer them
No,
for
and then
you.
my third question:
Go ahead.
are
Go
they
ahead.
really worried about redshirting, or do they already know when they brought that other backup out today that Michael Hawkins might be transferring?
Nah, I don't know if it's that. And listen, I'm not going to speculate on that because I couldn't tell you. What I will tell you is that if they had put Michael Hawkins in because Material's helmet came off, that's a fireable offense, bro.
But does that burn his red
lose
shirt
a
though?
game to that.
yeah, it
Yes, if
would
you come
because
in
you
for a
don't know how
snap,
much you're
you
gonna
come.
use them
Now,
down the
he's only
road.
played in 2, but you would have burned a game there.
You'd have burnt
That's
the
a
game.
fireable offense.
You don't do
Yeah,
that.
right.
No, you don't do that. Look, if
I'm not going to speculate on whether or not they think or know he's going here and there. And I know a lot of people are talking like that. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know. I've tried to get Mike's dad to come on the show. He knows I'm a Michael fan. He knows I'm a fan of his. He's not willing to do so. He
Okay,
doesn't
because
talk to
Jason,
me.
last
In fact,
question,
he's not
because
even willing to talk to me about it.
okay, last question. I mean, it's my last question, seriously, guys, and it was fun talking
Okay.
to y'all. Okay,
Yep.
he doesn't transfer in our thoughts. I don't want him to transfer. Like I said, I feel like he's QB1, and that's just my personal opinion. Material has turned the ball over every game. Michael Hawkins didn't turn the ball over, and yeah, he threw the ball deep and hurt Keontae Lewis. I guess Keontae Lewis should have realized where the hell he was at. But that's
I'm
besides the
not willing
point.
to say that either,
You
but I
got
get you.
Bo Bentley coming in next year. Okay, Mature doesn't look like a quarterback that's going to probably come out this year. I'm just going to be real. He will literally have to have he will literally have to like rouse
So
you in the next 3 to 4
that's
games, and
one
I'm going to
reason
be
why you
real,
say
especially with this hand that
that's
we
one
keep
reason why
talking
you
about.
try to save Hawkins
I just don't see
red
it
shirt.
happening. That's just me being real. I don't see Mature going to
Okay.
the draft. So you mean to tell
So
me
what's
a
your
kid?
question about that then?
Do
What's
you
your
mean to tell
question
me a
about
kid like Michael Hawkins is going to sit on the bench for another year?
that? No, he's not.
I think he transfers.
Okay. I think that's fair.
maybe so.
I think
But
that's
all
a
right,
fair. I
Jason,
think that's a fair
it was
statement.
it was fun talking
But
to you. Orange down, they still suck. Can't
I think
could
I
barely
think
beat
that
Kentucky.
Hold on, Jeff. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Appreciate
okay.
you, Will. Appreciate you, Will. Thanks for coming in.
No problem.
All right, bro. Have a good one. All right. Appreciate Will for jumping in with us there. And okay, so yeah, here's the thing. I'm not going to speculate totally on that. Do I think that he stays? Do I think Michael Hawkins is here another year if John Mateer's back? Probably not. I don't think that that's a big secret though, right?
You can't worry about that right now.
No, you
You're
can't.
in the
Listen,
you're in the
you're in a playoff run. You're in a
You're
playoff
Oklahoma.
chase.
You're fighting for the college football playoff. You don't want to be worried about any egos or anything. If he transfers, he transfers. I tell you what, in the NIL era, I hope no coach is worried about, red shirt thing. I mean, how many kids are going to be staying at a university for 4 years straight? It ain't happening.
I think that Oklahoma is trying to because they burned his Dent. You just said it a minute ago. They know they burnt his red shirt
Yeah, man. Yeah,
unnecessarily last year.
they know they burnt it. You know me
Yeah,
and
but
Mike. Man, let me. Can I finish?
yeah,
So,
go ahead.
so the thing about it is, you have to be smart because this transfer portal thing is only one now. It's not two unless you get a grad
True.
transfer. So it's a business now. So you have to think about these small things. And that's one reason why they didn't put him in the game today. Now, they know, okay, once they get toward the end of the season, and if they have to use him, because he can play in 4 games. He can
True.
play in 4 games, and the playoff does not matter. Okay? So he can play in 4 games. So they got to be smart about what they do when it comes down to this.
How many
Because guess
games has
what?
he played so far?
2.
Okay. So he's got 2 left in the regular season.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, 2. He got 2
Yeah.
left.
Okay.
So they just being smart. That's why they brung the guy in for the one play or wherever it was. You
Yeah,
know.
rightfully so. If not, you have plenty to bitch about, right?
Yeah, yeah, and you got to think about this, guys. So if he does redshirt, if he gets his red shirt, he'll be a redshirt sophomore next year, not a
Yeah.
junior. You understand
True.
what I'm saying? And now you bring Bo Bentley in. He's not going to be ready next year to come in. He might be ready 2 years after Mike get his shot. So
True.
they got it's a business, man. So you got to
Yeah.
look at it like that, you know.
If
And
they,
and,
if
and I and I understand what the guy was saying earlier, man. But it's a lot on the coaches. It's a lot on the kids. It's a lot on the parents. But it's a business. And don't right now. I know it's college football, but I told somebody this the other day. I said if you look at the major teams, the P4 teams in college football are bringing in more revenue than some of the NFL teams. It's
yep.
a business. You don't have a minor league in football. You do now. It's called college football. You have a minor league in baseball. You have a minor league in basketball. You got a minor league in hockey. This was the only sport that you did not have a minor league in, but you have it now. So yeah, it's turned into professional sports, pretty much. So you got to treat it as a business. You got to treat it as such. And I think they'll treat Michael Hawkins that way. I don't think they're concerned about whether he leaves or not, but they're concerned about retaining him. And I
Right.
think they're concerned about we don't need to overplay him when we don't have to.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to play, to me, Oklahoma's going to play the best quarterback, I think, give them the best chance to win. Otherwise, it's criminal on the part of the coaching staff.
Yeah.
So,
I,
regardless of how the fans feel, the coaching staff felt like Mateer gave them the best chance to win.
yep.
And even
Yep.
in the second half, they felt like Mateer gave them the best
Mhm.
chance to win. I thought they put Mateer out to dry on that throw, that pitiful throw into the end zone. That was stupid. And then the third
Mm.
interception was hit off the receiver's hand. He threw behind him. His timing was a little off. He made
It
a lot
was.
of nice runs. I think Oklahoma did a very poor job of controlling the game when they were controlling the game and tried to get cute, and I think it burnt him. I mean, Arch Manning was not doing anything. You just allowed him to stay around long enough and
You
finally
did.
do something.
You
And
did.
now he's bad news against Kentucky again. You got to be kicking yourself. You're like going, shit, right? I
Yeah.
mean, what they have 170 yards against Kentucky, but guys, that's the SEC. That's the difference between the SEC and the Big 12, and that's what I tell people from Oklahoma, people from Texas. Look, if you go on the road, you better strap it up. If you don't bring your A game, you're going to get beat, and I don't care who it is.
Right.
Okay, because Kentucky's bottom of the barrel, and they took Texas to overtime. It ain't like going to the Big 12 where it's like, okay, we're going to wear our Oklahoma shirt and we're going to beat you by 30. It ain't like that. All these teams have for the most part, all the teams have top 25 classes, you know. So
Mhm.
you're not just going to walk out there with a C game and win. That's why it's a grind. So it's like, it's exciting. And that's why when we talk about the best team, I mean, in the SEC, I think the best team is week by week. I mean, everybody's crowning Alabama, but I mean, they've come close.
I'm not.
I mean,
I. I'm not crowning Alabama. I'm just going off what my eyes see right now.
look, I don't know about Alabama having a better team. They just got the best quarterback. Okay.
They
I
do.
mean,
Well,
They do have that. They do have that.
that's the thing. I mean,
They don't have a
Missouri.
better defense for sure.
I wish that we wouldn't have got that taunting play at the start of the game. And I knew it was going to happen because we do that stupid stuff. And so we scored a touchdown on them, moved out the right
They
down the
let
field.
Auburn stay in the game tonight doing stupid shit like that too.
Yeah,
saw
I
it
know.
twice.
I'm like, that's on Drinkwitz.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Sure is.
sorry, that's on the coach. You don't do that. You don't see Alabama doing that. You look,
No.
it's 3rd and 16. You just scored a
You
touchdown
can't
on them.
beat
They're
yourself a
about
bunch
to
of
punt.
times and not
Right.
ever correct it, right?
Yeah, and that killed them. That's everybody's like, "Oh, that's early in the game." No, it's a pivotal moment. If we go
Yep.
down and score again and we're up 14-0, that's a big difference on Alabama. You got the crowd
Mm-hmm.
into it. We basically let them get it back to even, and then we struggled the rest of the way. I'm actually for Missouri. I'm actually happier with our defense. I think our front seven is very good.
It
Mm-hmm.
is.
I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in Kirby Moore and the passing because it's like for some reason, and I don't know how Oklahoma does it, but we refuse to throw the ball down the middle of the field. You got to use the middle of the field, and we don't use it
Neither do we.
enough. And we got
Neither do we.
talent to do it, and so we become very predictable. So it's
Yeah.
frustrating. But Auburn's
Guys,
defense is legit.
Auburn's defense is legit for sure. They, they Hugh Freeze put his eggs in the Jackson Arnold basket, and it was a bad idea.
Yeah, Hugh Freeze has got. Look, take bets right now. If Hugh Freeze is the coach at Auburn Monday, uh, you know,
What do you think
I
about
don't know
that?
what's
Because you
going.
think they're going to fire him by Monday?
Oh,
I
definitely. They're
do.
going to fire.
I
You're
do.
going to hear it tomorrow. They're going to
I
fire
think
him
so
tomorrow.
too.
He
I
lost
think he's out.
4 straight. Are you kidding? They'll be burning down that
And
place. Yes.
had chances to win all 4 of them, by the way. All 4
Man,
of them.
Did you?
guys, this is gonna be crazy because
Yeah.
he could lose his job. Florida State and Florida. You got Penn State job is open.
Yeah.
Guys,
Norvell is
hey,
nosediving.
man, so man, it's gonna be crazy. And here's the thing, guys. Just think about this. They only have one portal. They
Yeah.
only have one. They don't have a spring portal. So you think about the kids that are going to be leaving these programs as soon as the season is over with. Everybody's going to rate them. And then
Yeah.
you don't even have a spring portal to try to bounce back.
Yeah. And isn't that portal only like 15 days now?
It's
That's a
14 days.
Yeah, that's like crazy, man. That's like you better have all your ducks in a row.
Yeah, it's just like if a kid is, you got to think about it. You talk about tampering, but if a kid is
Right.
planning on leaving, he better be trying to find a place to go right now because just say you make the playoffs, and guess
Yeah.
what? You're going to be closer that January 6th. You don't have a 14 days to find a home.
Oh, I know. That's how we got Perbula. He was in the playoffs, and he was
You
like,
know?
"I gotta go." Question on this, like with Franklin getting fired, and so the kids can get into the portal now, can't they?
Yeah, they can.
Can they now if they
They
transfer?
can't go
Remember,
anywhere, but yeah, they
they
can get
can't
in
go
there now.
anywhere. They can't go anywhere till next year. Correct?
Correct.
No, but they can they can get out of here while they still have value.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, they can get picked up, but the team can't use them this year. That's what
Of
I'm
course
asking.
not. No, of course not.
Okay,
Yeah. Well, you
unless
still got
unless they have.
most of them are still up on a collective too, so
Yeah, that's true.
the kids are not going to give that money up
The
until
good
the
thing
end.
for the kids is the reason that it's good for them is that they can right now they're the only ones that are available aside from people that are still in the portal that nobody wanted, right? So the best
Yeah,
players from Penn State right now are the only people you're really looking at least legally, I should say. I
Right.
should probably just say legally. But
yeah,
Right.
that's right.
That trust me, their agents are shopping them right now.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
Yeah, you can bet that.
if
yeah.
they're worth the shit, they are.
And see,
Well,
here's the
Penn
thing.
State.
Here's the thing. You get that coach. That 9 times out of 10, they're gonna tell you who that coach is as soon as the season's over with, around
Yeah,
Thanksgiving, right? So if that coach is in the playoffs, does he not coach that playoff team to try to get ready? Or if he's in the playoff and he goes up to, let's say, December, let's say December to right at Christmas time, then he has no time to build a team because he is not going to get, let's just say Penn State, he is not going to get all those players. That team is going to be decimated by the time he get there.
Yeah. They put a thing in, didn't they put a thing in concerning that it's like they can't until after the coach is hired? Like they got a little clause in there where now the coach has to be hired or whatever. He's got like 5 days or something. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what
Yeah,
exactly.
but that one, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but that one portal window is
That's
going to make
brutal.
it extremely tough
Yeah.
for a coach to build a team. That and now you got GMs that are at a lot of these schools. So these GMs right now are going to have to start calling these guys in. Hey man,
Yeah.
let's talk contract. Let's you know we
You're
want you to
talking
stay. Yeah,
tampering.
yeah.
Tampering.
Well, no, there's not tampering.
No, but there will be. I mean, you're putting it on such a confined thing with 14 days that there's going to be tampering. I'm sorry. You got 2
Yeah, I
weeks.
mean, yeah, you got 2 weeks, but the thing about it is, what I'm saying is the GM at that place, the GM at Penn State right
Yeah.
now, he is going to be working to retain his roster. He is
Yes.
going to be working with agents to try to keep kids. Okay, we got to keep this kid. We got to give him an extra 10. We got to give him an extra 20,000. They're going to be doing things to keep kids because they got to maintain that roster while they look for a coach.
Yeah. Oh, agreed. I'm surprised. I know. I'm fine with them going down to one window, but I'm surprised they moved it from 30 days to 14 or whatever. I'm like,
That's tight.
that just seems
Here's
real
one thing
tight.
I would just add about this real quick. It's not necessarily 100% done yet.
That's true. It could change.
It could easily go to court tomorrow. Who's to say?
Yeah.
But
I'm
let
just
We're
me,
saying what
still
I'm.
in the middle of the season. Nobody can be in the portal yet, so it doesn't.
yeah,
But this could all blow up. Look, yeah. Listen, guys, we've been going for 2 hours and 40 minutes. This is late as shit.
Wow.
So I appreciate both of you guys coming in. We'll get back into more of this on Monday morning on Big Monday. Maybe we get Big Cuz back in here. We should have Boganowski for
you
sure.
guys, hey, Jason, you guys better be screaming early though, because look, if Oklahoma goes 9-3 in the SEC and
Yep.
they get beaten out by a team in another conference that is 10-2, it's a
Hey,
travesty.
Mr.
I'm
Sankey,
serious.
Mr. Sankey, and ESPN supposedly took care of that problem, which is
They
why they
better
agreed to the
look.
nine. This is why they agreed to the 9 game schedule because they quote unquote took care of that problem. If they
We will
didn't,
find out. We will
we
find
won't find.
out.
That's right. That's right. And
You
here's
know,
the thing: if they do, if you see somebody that's 9-3 in the SEC that gets into the playoff rather than a 10-2 Illinois or
yeah,
um,
right.
or whatever,
ten and
or
two
maybe
over.
maybe a 10-2. Well, Nebraska's not going to end up 10-2 probably, but let's say a 10-2 Nebraska, then they're gonna throw a shit fit. But what it's going to do is it's going to make Matt Rule and Lincoln Riley change their mind about that whole. That'll bring back the Notre Dame game next year because right as of now, that was the last one for the time being,
Yeah, because just think about it this way: if
which is a
Oklahoma
travesty, by the way.
right, but if Oklahoma goes 9-3, that means basically against ranked opponents, you're like
Yeah,
5-3 or 6-3 because I don't think Auburn will be ranked, but everybody else
yeah,
will be
neither
ranked.
one will
You'll
be.
be 5-3 against ranked opponents, and you're not making the friggin' playoffs when these other teams they play two ranked teams and they lose both of them. It's not fair. Now, so
I agree with you.
any SEC team that goes 10-2 should have a leg up basically on any other team because they're all playing tougher schedules. I mean, Missouri has one.
Supposedly that's what that whole the new rule was that they are gonna. They even added another analytic to it. So it
Yeah.
should absolutely fix the problem that they were having. Otherwise, to me, they would not have went to the nine game SEC schedule, because like Demp's been saying this all along that they shouldn't do it
Yeah.
until they went to that, right? And I agreed
Yeah.
with it. Why would you do it otherwise? Because here's the thing, that's 9 extra losses, and you already didn't care about the strength of schedule last year.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's why I built the model, Jason, for
Mm-hmm.
that very reason, to predict that, because I don't think, and I built it for basketball as well. I actually built it for basketball, but I use it for football because I don't think that I think these committees or whatever, they look at the name on the front of the jersey and sometimes, and they don't think about anything else. And I'm like, take the
Agreed.
name off. Let's just look at strength of schedule, who you play against, what kind of win it is, where was it at, what was the margin of victory, and
I
kind of
think that the
remove
Big
all
Ten
doubt.
screwed up though. The biggest is that they were pushing so hard, acting like it was such a big deal that Oklahoma or that SEC wasn't playing 9 game conference schedule. They weren't saying that about the ACC. They were saying it about the SEC.
Yeah,
But then, whenever they
but
went to that, now what do you have to stand on about why you're going to get favored in the other league? What, that you've
but
won the
the
last 2 natties?
yeah,
You're not going to
but
keep doing that every year.
well, that is pretty narrow to sit there and say the SEC hasn't won the last two natties. Well, they're only supposed to, if they're in a Power Four conference, they're only supposed to win one out of four. So therefore, they're only supposed to win, 50% chance of winning every 2 years. And the SEC's won what, 9 out of the last 12? It's ridiculous. That's just a ridiculous thing.
Well, the
Of
SEC
course,
won
they're not going
14
to
out
win
of
every.
the SEC's won 14 out of
Yeah,
18.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. It's like It's like, and they got teams that have won twice.
Mhm.
So I just worry about, if I'm Oklahoma, I'm worried about a team like Georgia Tech, because
Oh yeah,
Georgia Tech is
that's
probably
the
going to
kind of
go. They are doing it with mirrors.
Mhm.
They're going to go. They're going to go. There looks like they're going to go 11-1
They're
because
going
they're
to
going
play
to
the
get.
same way that Oklahoma plays. They're going to try to run your ass over and play good defense.
Yeah, and Georgia's, but I'm saying Georgia's going to beat them, and then they're going to
Mhm.
lose in the ACC championship game probably, and they're going to be, so they'll be what, 11-2, and they're going to get in, and they have beaten nobody. They have beaten nobody with an RPI over 40, under 40. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's
Well, and
that's
that's the problem with these early rankings, though. That's the one thing I'll say that the Big Ten and the Big 12
well, I'm not
people have.
talking, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what I use for my
The
rankings
RPI.
is like the RPI. So that thing is calculated. That's a statistical thing. I use what like CBS Sports does. I use what the ESPN does, the power football thing, and I use Athlon. They rank all the teams, and
Yeah,
that's
I
the
got you.
relative ranking that I give the teams. So
Okay.
they got analytics in there, but it's the schedules aren't close to even.
No, they're
And
not.
an 8-game schedule in the SEC is harder than a 9-game schedule in any of these other conferences.
Just depends on who's spinning it, though. It depends on the spin doctor. All right, guys, we're going to definitely get, man. We've been
Later.
going for a while. Appreciate you coming in,
Great,
Jeff.
great
Big
show.
cuss. Thank you, bud.
Hey, hey, one last thing. I'm a half win away. I'm a half win away from collecting $1,000 on Oklahoma's over 6.5 win total from the beginning of the year, and I'm
Awesome.
$1,000 away from collecting on
I meant to
Missouri's
tell
win
you
total
today,
6.5.
the parlay that I hit today for 280 was the last thing I picked on it was, well, I went Vandy, I went OU under, and then
Yes,
I
that's
had
right.
those two, and I wasn't going to pick OU at all, but I was like, you know what? He said the under, and I agree. I think it
Yeah.
should be under for sure. And then so Vandy and them, and then obviously, man, I'm telling you though that Mizzou or not Mizzou, Ole Miss screwed me out of a grand, man, $1,200 pisses me right off.
Oh well, I told you so, and
Garbage.
I got to get your email straight, and I don't know why it's it,
I don't know what's
but
going on.
I
Yeah.
was I was 8 out of 10 on the picks, and the two I lost to was Ole Miss gagging away a 7.5 point spread at the end of the game. And I lost the Tennessee-Alabama game. I had Alabama and the over. The model said Alabama and the over. It predicted it to be 38-24. It was 37-20, and they stopped Tennessee at the goal line. So I would have been perfect 10-0. I still won a ton of money because I got a lot of different parlays, but I could have cleaned up. So
Peace out,
but
because we appreciate you. All right, man.
later,
Yeah, man, I'll hit you back on it soon. But hey, guys, I appreciate everybody coming in.
yeah,
Jeff, Gridiron Insight, Marcus Dent. We had Will I come in. He's a first-time caller for us. I appreciated that call as well. Obviously, Kyle Dupuis, Corrections 101. All you guys that are jumping in here, Bishop Frank, all you guys, man, I appreciate it. I enjoy having these conversations. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the show as well. We'll see you all guys on Monday.
final thing, Jason, as Al Davis says, just win, baby. Just win.
Just win, baby. Hey, if you win, you win. Yeah, winning cures it all. Winning cures it all.
It doesn't matter how ugly, just win.
Damn right. All right, man.
Later.
Appreciate you. See you.
Later, buddy.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Yeah. Hey, before you go, make sure that you check out our sponsors as well. You could help us continue to go on. We got to pay for this stuff too sometimes. So before you go, check out MyBookie. If you're making bets right now, and you should be listening to what we're talking about because we're making money. So get over to MyBookie and check it out, and you get bonus money if you do it through our website. See you guys on the next one. Hey, Jason Watkins here with Hall of Fame College Football. And if you are ready to back your favorite team, the Sooners, and fade that Texas hype train every Saturday this fall, there's only one place to do it, MyBookie. Right now, you can double your first deposit up to $1,000 when you sign up at hofmedia.us/mybookie1000. That's hofmedia.us/mybookie1000. Yep, 100% deposit bonus, and it takes less than 5 minutes to get started. Whether you're betting college football, rolling the dice in the online casino, or dropping a 10-leg parlay on SEC Chaos, MyBookie has everything you need. Bet anytime, anywhere, on the go, at the tailgate, or yelling at the refs from your couch. Just don't talk trash. Put your money where your mouth is. Hit that link, hofmedia.us/mybookie1000, and get your deposit bonus today. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie and Hall of Fame College Football.